and this is a VOD. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks to everyone who is tuning in live. And if you are tuning in as a VOD, if you are watching this as a VOD, you will find timestamps below in the video description. And if you were joining this stream in order to see the On the Way to a Smile analysis, I have some news in the sense that there's been a slight change of plans because my good friend here, Mario Brush, tagged me in a very cool video. It's a new theory video by Tom vs Gaming. Tom vs Gaming. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a very interesting theory video about Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and the multiverse, the alleged multiverse and everything that is linked to that. And now I can see some lag on my camera. Does everyone see lag on my camera? Hopefully not. And the idea was initially to discuss On the Way to a Smile, and we might still be doing that. But first of all, we will be checking that video. Mario Bros, no, you're fine. You know what? I'm super excited now because I will get into it. I will explain why I'm super excited about it. But we will be doing On the Way to a Smile if we have a little bit of time. Moon Pendant, nice to catch you at the beginning of a live for once. I've been loving the Edge of Speculation series. Thank you so much. This is heartwarming. I am very grateful to hear that you loved it and that a lot of people are tuning in live now because obviously, yeah, the VODs are there, but having the ability to interact with you guys is personally why I do this on Saturday, because otherwise you can just put a video there and it's obviously still going to be part of the channel. I'm still going to be putting out videos like that. But having the chance to chat with you and react to chat and read everyone and get opinions is personally why I love streaming. Now, I'm sure that's why everyone who streams does it, but yeah, just wanted to say it. And so On the Way to a Smile will probably happen today. We will probably start reading Case of Tifa and analyzing a couple of things there, because Case of Tifa is the first. Oh, is it Case of Denzel? But for me, I want to skip Case of Denzel for now. I want to go straight into Case of Tifa. Hopefully we have enough time, a couple of hours. But before that, there are actually two videos I want to check out, both from Tom vs Gaming. By the way, Mario Brush, I'm not sure if you saw his previous videos, because it's from New Zealand, right? And you know, it always not humbles me, but it always fascinates me when I see someone in 2024, 2 years ago, already talking about the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth multiverse might just be fractured pieces of Cloud's unconscious. It just fascinates me when I hear that from someone who just barely finished the game. There are people, I think Super Ramio on X was also someone who said it. In one of his, I think he made a video, and it was like very early on in Remake. Like, imagine finishing Remake and being like, one of the main theories is that very likely we are observing Cloud's unconscious. It blows my mind. As someone who believes firmly in that today, it blows my mind that you would be able to reach those conclusions by the end of Remake or even right after finishing Rebirth. Because for me, it just takes a lot of connecting the dots before reaching that point. At the very least, that's what it took for me. Now, I'm aware that people have different thought process, and that's fine. That's great. I love actually to watch that. And so the reason why this is important today for me is because I'm trying to think if there have been any other creators, just people putting ideas and theories about Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, taking this angle about the fact that it's probably Cloud's journey in his unconscious or whatever, and putting ideas there online since I started. I don't think that's been the case. There's been a lot of people kind of reacting to that and saying, yes, I agree, or I disagree, or some people who agree partially. And I'm very interested because Tom here has something that is very, I feel like it's different. And I love watching people who have maybe the same idea or overarching kind of understanding or explanation, but still came to that conclusion with a different process. Why do you think there are such a large group of people who are against that theory? Josh, I don't know, my friend. I don't know. It's, let's say it's a minefield. It's a difficult topic to talk about without judging people, and I don't want to judge people. I think that and I will say this in the most compassionate and humble and whatever way ever, right? I haven't seen such a pushback on any other idea, like the idea that it's possibly shenanigans within Cloud's unconscious. Like, people who believe it's a sequel push back on so many other things. We are just doing theory at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. But people push back on so many other theories in very conservative ways, and they're like, yeah, this idea could be there, or like, you know, there are so many ideas out there that could possibly complement maybe the sequel theory. I think, Josh, the reason why people are so, you know, you bring up a good point, so against it. It's not that people are just like, that this doesn't make sense. People actively hate it. People are like, I hate this idea that it's possibly about Cloud. That would be, for me, when people stop looking at the idea on this on for its merit, as in answering the explanations that it provides, and take a step back and actually talk about whether it would be a good resolution or not. That's where, for me, there is a problem. It means that people are maybe not seeing enough. Maybe people did not consider it before, and now are like, that is interesting, but it goes against everything we believed. And it's fine to change one's opinion. It's fine to keep an opinion that is opposite to someone else. And I feel like people are really against it because it's the one theory, first of all, that has there been any other remake theory, spicy remake theory, which has gone viral? Hey, Easy Mid. Has there been any kind of idea where the person presenting the theory still thinks that this is not a sequel? I hate using this word now because it's become like connotations that are just huge, but it's going to lead differently. Has there been anyone presenting that it's an idea that it's a story that is going to end differently, or that is not going to end differently, but with a different angle? I haven't seen it. So I feel like this idea that it's possibly Cloud's unconscious or whatever, I feel like the hatred for it comes from the fact that it's probably the one idea that leans the most into the spicy remake angle, Josh. I don't know if you agree with me on that, because I know that you've been talking a lot about that as well, you know, in chat, online, and so on. And so I'm not going to say it's flattering. I'm not the owner of this. It's just ideas we put online. Come on. I feel like the idea has merits to it when I see how people are reacting to it. When I see people very aggressively reacting to it and saying, no, this can't be. If you present an idea to someone, and rather than disproving the idea or challenging it, they resort to, well, that would just not make sense. It would just be bad writing or whatever. So they take you outside of the conversation about the idea itself, and we start talking about whether the intention of the developer would be that or not. I feel like indirectly the person just ends up proving that they are not able to poke big holes in the idea compared to the other ideas. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting lost in my own phrasing here. I'm trying to phrase it in a way where it makes sense and it's simple. But it's like, if I hear, nah, that would be just, it was all a dream, and kind of sometimes summarizing it to a way which is not what it is, I feel like that just not disproves the counter argument, but kind of takes a step back and says, no, I don't want to discuss the idea anymore. I want to discuss maybe sometimes the person. There are some people that have been talking about who are like, your theory does not change what the game is showing. Of course it does not. It's a freaking theory on a YouTube account. Do you think Nojima-san is sitting down here waiting for T27 on YouTube to put out his video so that he decides what to make of the part 3 scenario, how to take it? Dude. Who are we kidding? I think it's because they see this project like it's the last part of all of FF7. Mario. Did you change your pseudo? You just changed your name now. It's odd that they are against it, especially when it's supported by the OG dialogue. Sorry, I just came in. What is the theory you are talking about? We are going to be reacting to this theory here so I'm going to drop the link first. We might chat a bit before we start analyzing it, but it's by Tom VS Gaming. I want you guys, if you want, please. Oh, I only see the Twitch chat. Hey, let's mosey. I only see the Twitch chat for some reason on my OBS. Whatever. It's this idea here. it's this theory here. Let me plug it from the other computer, because otherwise it's not going to work. And there is something else I wanted to show you guys. Maybe before we dive into that. We fundamentally... Okay. I love the title. I love the take he has on it. Okay, so video we're watching today. Oh my god, I'm really stretching here. There you go. Is the link show? Yeah, link is showing up fine. Let me put it on Twitch too. We're watching today. Okay. Dude, I should have just sent it from OBS. Why am I being so stupid today? Whatever. This time people are losing the ability to have a conversation. I agree. So, Josh, to your point, it's odd that they are so against it, especially when it's supported by the OG dialogue. Yes, my friend. Not only that, but Bunkei and I were talking earlier, and we realized there is a tear in the sky, right? Just this. Do we see cloud? Do we see... Can I find the sky somewhere here? Thank you. Right? FF7 OG livestream sequence. I mean, I'm sorry, but when Cloud literally says he was trapped in an illusory world, absolutely. No, hold on, Josh. Let us push the logic to the extreme. Got this, dude. Can I get? look at what fandom is calling this. Cloud subconscious. Of course it is. Right. Let me zoom in a bit here. And let me bring this here too. I get a picture. Okay. So now I'm like, the moment you see this and this, and I full credit to whoever came up with this on X, I think, well, right after Rebirth launched or whatever, right? Or was right after they finished Rebirth. As soon as you see this and this, you have to question everything you're seeing. Like a tear in the sky was literally in Cloud's subconscious. You literally had pockets of worlds. You literally had these white particles. And I'm going to show you what those look like. Sephiroth Rebirth chapter 14, maybe? Sephiroth explains the multiverse or whatever. Of course, it doesn't have to mean everything didn't happen. Oh god, I don't want to open a YouTube video in order to find this. Come on, Google. Come on. Chapter 14 of Rebirth. This is the least prepared stream of all time. Where is the Cloud, Sephiroth shows Cloud, the multiverse? Dude, look at this.
Yet even the ever unfold.
I need a better angle.
When the bound.
I think this is a good one. So you got this. You got this. Like, you already have a space in the OG where you have worlds and memories floating. Don't we? This doesn't mean that everything didn't happen. Because the Nibelheim flashback here happened. We were just looking at a vision of it. That's all. It doesn't mean that everything is taking place here either. But when I see a tear in the sky, I, like, pardon me, forgive me for being skeptical. Like, we already had this here, and it was not an objective world. It was Cloud's illusory reality. And the white particles, you see them here as well. Do you see the white particles here? Do you see them floating in and out and whatever? You need a better shot. There you go. You can see them in the background here, right? Don't make me go and dial up the contrast so that we see them, but you can see it here. You also got him here. Like, why is this a completely impossible idea now? Now I'm making it a rant. And it's fine if people disagree with this. This is the purpose of theories. I just don't like when it's so aggressive. It's like, there is no way this is... Like, did we play the same original game? Did we play the same original game where we are literally living a lie for like 60% of the game? Wasn't that the original story? We were literally living in an illusory world for 60% of the game. And credit to Subtext. He labeled it, what was it? Unreliable world. Sub, if you're watching this, I am curious to know, why did you, like, what do you make of the unreliable world thing that you came up with before Rebirth it was, right? Like, where did that go? Because did you step out from it, or did you get elements that for you disproved it? Because unreliable world is, I can't think of a better explanation. Then this is an unreliable world. This is a reality, a continuity that is not all clear or not all true. It doesn't mean that it's all a dream. It just means that parts of it are unreliable. Anyways. Did I lose? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. So the theory video really wanted to watch today. By the way, I already subscribed to Tom. Please join me in subscribing to Tom, guys, and to liking the video if you like it. And let's give it a boost, because this guy put this video here and only has 81 views, and I think it has great points. I didn't see everything. I saw about, like, I don't know, 20%, maybe a bit less. And we will see the logic that he's using to build towards his point. But he's already using concepts that I did not necessarily cover in my video. This is why I'm super interested, because I want to understand how other people are reaching the same conclusion. The storehouse consciousness from Yogacara, we kind of touched on that in a very, very sporadic level. Aaron sees in the planetary immune system. The hollow parasite, I love that. The architect of the ego, very matrix coded. Just watched the video about the Matrix recently. So let's start. This is the video by Tom. It has been uploaded, what was it, yesterday? So guys, let's give it a boost. Let's check it out. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with everything, by the way. Just as a heads up, I might disagree with a lot of things, but we'll see. Not only that, Advent Children gains an immense deep... What? Gains an immense deep because it's all a memory from the OG. There's a video where we even can see how all the compilation have a symbol that is on all the game's Phil's media. Hold on. Mario, can you rephrase? I got lost reading the sentence. Not only that, AC gains an immense deep because it's all a memory. From the OG, there's a video where we can even see how all the compilation have a symbol. Can you rephrase that? Let's Mosey. I do wonder how many of the critics of this idea have actually played the OG recently after playing the remakes. Or if they're just basing the hate off of their own unreliable memories of playing the OG. I agree with that. To Subtext's credit, he did replay the OG on stream, so we did see him play. So he listen, I disagree with Subtext on a lot of things, and there are maybe a few things we agree on, but at the very least, I think that Subtext is, I don't see anything disingenuous in the way he reacts to some of these ideas. I think that he gives them the merit, and he sits down and he kind of reacts to them for what they are, and he has replayed the OG, as you said, so he kind of has that recent fresh mindset or that fresh perspective that he can take into reacting to some of these theories. I think he spends an immense amount of time digging and watching theory videos and so on, as much as we disagree on stuff. And he was great to me once again in the first video because he checked it out and he kind of recommended that other people check it out despite the fact that he disagreed with it. So it's fine. This is great. But there is some other kind of toxic conversations going on, especially on X, which I don't want to get into because that's not the purpose. So let's start with this one. Let me guys know if the sound is good.
Fantasy VII Remake project is fundamentally backwards.
Where is the sound? Let me know if the sound is good. Where is the sound? Actually, you guys have the sound. I just don't. My bad. I meant that with the idea of everything happening inside Cloud's fractured mind, AC gains an immense amount of depth by being entirely a memory of the original. Exactly. And, you know, understanding that the Sephiroth who appears summons memories from whatever happened in the OG instead of this is just a new version of Sephiroth coming up. This is why I said in the Sephiroth video that people think about Remake happens after... Remake was released after Advent Children, so the memories created in Advent Children carry on to Remake. Just flip it. Imagine that Remake happened before Advent Children. Imagine if Remake was released before Advent Children. Would we be sitting here and going like, yeah, it feels like there is a movie missing in between that would actually be the prequel to whatever we're playing now? No, if Remake happened right after the OG or before Advent Children was released, and if we watched Advent Children afterwards, we would be going like, oh, the three remnants are referenced from, the three remnants are coming from the three whispers we fight. So if you reference memories in the future, you can also reference them from the past. As soon as you introduce time travel or memory, time travel, whatever, you can do it both directions. You can summon memories from the future and bring them to the present, or you can go to the past and bring memories to the present. And my understanding, personally, is that in Advent Children, Genova goes and brings memories from the past, which are the ones we're seeing in Remake. Yeah, no, I don't think sub is toxic when it comes to this. I hope that did not come across that way. Yeah, but let's mostly, I knew that that's what you were getting to. But anyways, let's go ahead.
What if the worlds we've spent years analyzing aren't a sprawling sci-fi epic of parallel timelines, but something far more intimate and far more terrifying? Since Rebirth dropped, we've seen some incredible analysis from the community attempting to make sense of this chaos. Creators like Subtext brilliantly pointed out the unreliable world being built around us, and John Q Gamer put forward an absolutely massive shattered planet.
Guys, I'm going to be silent on this, but keep in mind John. I don't want to spoil anything, but just keep John in mind. If you like this channel and you like John's channel, then that's it. Can't say anything else without spoiling you.
Arguing that the Cetra physically split the world to trap Genova. Both videos can be found at the top of the description and are essential viewing. Those theories are fantastic and they provide the essential groundwork for understanding the scale of what we're seeing. But what if they're looking in the wrong direction? What if we are mistaking a symptom for the cause? What if the shattered planet isn't a physical planet at all? What if the shattered planet is the shattered mind of a single, deeply traumatized soldier? Today, we are going to uncover a terrifying reality. We aren't just watching a story, we're watching a psychological breakdown.
Tuxedo, thank you so much for the super chat. What if Cloud is really just missed? This made me laugh probably more than it should, but it's very funny. Very strong opening by Tom here. And I think this is kind of, you guys, there needs to be an understanding of the context of videos, right? Now, I'm not going to be defending Tom's video here because I can already see the counter arguments. I've posted something similar early in this channel's lifetime. And I know the kind of commentary that is going to be out there. It's going to be like, well, you're begging the question. You're already starting with an presumption, an assumption that this is not a multiverse. So you just look for something to confirm that. The reason a creator comes in here and starts their video but with what if this is not A, rather it is B, is because the fandom has grown so attached to A that they are not willing to engage with anything else, and especially not B. Do you see what I mean here? The reason why a creator like this would need to start with a hook that is, it's not clickbait by any means, but that kind of is a bit more provocative in the sense that it goes directly after the opposite view or one of the other views, is because that view is the only thing that people are willing to engage with and have been willing to engage with for 5-6 years. This does not mean that someone is a victim and someone is kind of hogging the conversation space or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that people have an expectation that this is what the story is. People like Sebi freaking hate this video game because they're like, it's a sequel anyway and we never asked for a sequel. And it's fine that people think it's a sequel. All I'm saying is, don't tell this person that they are begging the question, because I can see those comments coming. Because this person is already fighting against the tides to bring this idea to the surface. So if you start with, well, they are just, of course they're going to be starting with their conclusion. When a person makes a video, and all respect to everyone who sits down for 3, 4, 5 hours recording, and maybe sometimes for months trying to work on the script and editing and whatever, and big respect to those who sit down and watch the video. But when a person starts with a statement like this, it doesn't mean that this is how they thought about the topic. I read so many of these comments on my channel with people like, you're starting with the assumption that it's all about cloud and you are just bringing arguments to... Dude, this is the conclusion I came to, but I'm not going to start my video by telling you, well, you know what? Let's start by exploring all the possible ideas. For the sake of the entertainment, this is still an essay. This is still... The idea behind this is still to kind of be a bit more entertaining when delivering your message. I'm not going to start in a classic way. I'm obviously going to start in a very, very kind of build up where you will see that I'm building up towards something. And sometimes you will even see that I'm challenging something from the get-go so that I get your attention, so that you're willing to listen to me. That's all. We have to stop this thing of shooting down the form of something rather than the substance. I've seen many people claim that the remake has to come after Advent Children, and I really don't get it. There is no evidence that is the case. My friend Josh, we keep saying this, and then people are like, well, why does Sephiroth appear early? So the kind of counter-argument is very hard to go against. I'm going to lot so hard when part 3 ends with us standing on the highway outside Midgar. What does that mean? Can you elaborate? So I love the intro here. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, what I love is that as well, if you are going to be, and I'm totally ruining the pacing of this video, but at the same time, it's only 13 minutes. This is why I thought this would be a good one to react to, actually, because it's not too long and we can really sit down and break it down. He's already challenging. So this is him giving you a middle ground. You think, and like big respect to John's video, by the way, which I find is extremely well done. And John's videos are generally very well researched, right? But he's already starting with that, which could be common ground. So, okay, right? So you believe in a certain thing. You agree with this idea that the shattered planet theory is something that definitely has some legs to it. And I think I fully agree with that as well, with a lot of ideas there. Now, let me take that same logic and apply it to a person, to the main protagonist who we know is unreliable, who we know has an identity crisis, and who we have seen literally wake up and dream of those worlds which are part of the multiverse. I feel like this really goes over our heads. We literally saw this dude dream of the Terrier world in his sleep. Like, there are 2 pieces of evidence that are so glaringly obvious that I am unable to imagine anything else. You have this being exactly this. So where the hell is this taking place? Where the hell is this taking place? My God. Where the hell is this taking place? If this has already taken place here, that is the first piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this guy wakes up in one of the other worlds of the multiverse. That doesn't only wake up there, he dreams of them. So when we think about dreams, they could be individual. It does not mean that it does not exist and only exists in his head. Because Final Fantasy VII tells you that what exists in your head also exists in the live stream. It is not only in Cloud's head. Cloud is experiencing it. Sideways, hey, we cooking. This guy's cooking though. Tommy's cooking. Cloud experiences it. But the world is still existing in the live stream because the live stream encompasses everything anyways. And this is not very dissimilar to Jungian psychology as well. So I like the way that this is presented. I like the way that he's starting. Let's go. Yogacar, I really want to see this.
Let's start with the nature of these multiple worlds. Are they parallel physical universes? The community often defaults to this explanation because it's familiar, but I don't think so. And the devs don't think so either. It is explicitly stated in various interviews that these are not independent physical timelines, but rather worlds on different layers. But what does that actually mean? To answer that, we have to look past the sci-fi tropes and into the philosophical DNA of the series. Nojima has heavily incorporated Jungian psychology and Eastern philosophy into the compilation.
And he said
specifically the Buddhist concept of Yogacara, or the mind-only philosophy. In the mind-only framework, the external physical world as we know it is an illusion. Reality is just a projection of internal seeds stored within a deeper consciousness. But what if the live stream isn't just a river of green goop? What if it acts as a storehouse consciousness? A massive planetary database containing every memory, emotion, and unrealized hope, just as the Cosmo Canyon NPC theorized. And what happens when a mind that is so deeply fractured by trauma is directly injected with this storehouse consciousness and refuses to accept reality?
I am having so much fun now because this thought process is incredibly sound. Because this guy is presenting it in a better way than I did. Just to be totally honest with you guys. I think he's presenting it in a way that is more, I'm not going to say convincing, but a way that is more middle ground, right? My very first video particularly started in an area which is very far. But this one is very middle ground with people who already believe in something. Like, say, if you're already looking into Yogacara and the live stream, and he's already making the connections, I love that. I'm looking for a pen because I don't want to keep interrupting him. His logic building is very good. I want to only interrupt him between chapters, but at the same time, I don't want to forget my ideas. Where's a freaking pen when you need one? I don't have it. So anyways, I'm just gonna roll with it and try to remember. So I totally agree on the Yogacara Jung lens. We have a big video that we did, a big analysis that we did about Carl Jung and Jungian psychology, and how it relates to clouds, unconscious, and the worlds of dreams and so on. I love this. I wish Bunkei was here. Bunkei is not in the chat because I haven't seen him pop up. I wish Bunkei was here. Mind only. This is what Yogacara says. The problem with this is that I see a lot of people. Yeah, I know it's okay to interrupt, but I don't want to interrupt him while he's making the point, you see? The external physical world as we know it is an illusion. Reality is just a projection of internal seeds stored within a deeper consciousness. I'm not going to pretend that I studied this, but I researched it when trying to make sense of what is happening in the story. What I want to add is the reason why this is I love his logic building is because he's starting with something that a lot of people who believe this is a sequel are using. So you have a very popular kind of way of thinking about it is that the planet itself has a mind and has an awareness and has consciousness, which is possible. It's not that the planet is thinking, it's just that the Cetra within it are the spirits who are able to commune with the planet, and so their collective is what makes the collective will of the planet, right? And when we take that logic, applying this to it becomes very easy because people say, well, the planet is confused about which worlds are real. This is possible. I think my only point and his point here is, great. Can you take that same logic and apply it to an individual? Are dreams much more of an individual process than a collective one? I believe that dreams are much more of an individual process than a collective one. Is that kind of controversial to think so? I think that dreams are based on personal memories and personal hopes and personal experiences and personal repressed memories, more importantly. When your subconscious or your unconscious shows you something in a dream, and this is very much Jungian psychology once again, it does that based on your own unconscious. Now, it does go to the collective unconscious and it brings archetypes so that it reminds you what you need within that specific moment, and it kind of brings a message to you, a disguised message. But this is a part of your unconscious that that your self or your whole psyche kind of tries to bring back to your consciousness. It's trying to wake you up with a fact, right? But at the end of the day, it is still an individual process. This is the only thing we're saying, is that you can take the same logic and apply it to an individual. And it does not mean that everything we saw was false, by the way, once again. Let me catch up on chat because I didn't. This is amazing. I agree. Reality is that Advent Children fans... What? Our low IQ ruined. Are you serious? Like, are you talking about Advent Children fans? Well, thanks for that. Hell yes, this is amazing. It's also quite concise. Yeah, I love that it's only 13 minutes, just like my videos. This is dope. I think it's okay for you to interrupt. Yeah, I say that I'm just trying. Cloud's character will only be healed when he accepts who he is and what he is not. And it's about making him whole as well. We'll see it. That's how I feel about Crisis Core. I was over Zack before Remake, but that's just me and realize I'm on the outside. And it's fine to hate someone and not want to play as them and not like the idea. But guys, if we hate a movie so much that we ask the guy who wrote it to unwrite it, and we expect him to do so, good luck.
Only framework, the external physical world as we know it is an illusion.
Right? Let's go to the next one.
Reality is business.
So what does that illusion mean? It doesn't mean that everything does not exist. What it means is that the world you experience as an individual, you are unable to distinguish the fact that you are within your own illusory world. It doesn't mean that it's fake. It's just that's the reality you are in. Yogacara mind-only teachings tell you that every person will see the world differently. Every person will have a world constructed around their experiences and memories and so on. I believe that Final Fantasy VII just goes and runs with this concept and makes it literal. It shows you that there are worlds which can be different one from one another, while at the same time still having one objective reality. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Refuses to accept reality. Injected with this storehouse consciousness and refuses to accept reality. When Cloud denies Aerith's death, he doesn't just block a memory. His Marco-amplified subconscious takes that denial and plants an errant seed into the storehouse consciousness of the lifestream. His mind literally sprouts a localized spiritual projection where she survives. The Terrier and Pug timelines aren't just alternate realities. They are the temporary symptomatic byproducts of Cloud's grief, or as Sephiroth calls them,
These errant worlds.
we aren't watching a new timeline. We are trapped inside Cloud's destabilized point of view, watching a familiar...
Okay, by the way,
we are trapped
look at the background, guys. Look.
inside
Does
Cloud's
that not look like a rift?
destabilized...
Does this not look like a rift? Like rifts could literally be just the boundaries of worlds that are inside the unconscious. It could be just that. Like when you are inside a world and you see that, it means you are looking at the edge of it. Is that not a rift? Does it not look like a rift? Hey, Jared.
Point
like a
of
coping
view,
mechanism, yeah.
watching a familiar timeline undergo a psychological collapse. If you need hard proof that we're experiencing a psychological phenomenon rather than a cosmic one, look no further than the rift in the sky at the end of Rebirth. Cloud looks up and sees a massive rift tearing in the sky. The rest of the party looks up and sees a clear blue sky. Why? Because the rift isn't a celestial event. It isn't a sign that the worlds are ending like we're told in Rebirth. It is a localized symptom, a literal tear in the fabric of Cloud's psyche. It is a visual metaphor for his forced denial, these errant seeds bleeding into the real world. But if these errant worlds are essentially a virus of denial, wouldn't the planet fight back? In order to make sense of this, I've opted to look at the world of FF7 from a...
Guys, I have tears in my eyes. I'm joking. But I'm very emotional now. I'm very happy. Because this person is making the point better than I ever did. If you guys watch this channel and love this channel, I really love it and I appreciate you guys doing this. I think you guys will love this even more because the way he's making his point is incredibly sound so far. Metaphysical topics are very difficult for the average person to understand. I don't think Nojima cares about that though. Absolutely. I find removing Crisis or AC silly even though I don't like it. Yeah, exactly. I think it shows truth after wasn't pretty. Just like what President Shinra said in Remake was true, Barrett trying to get to Sid. And we might get to analyzing On the Way to a Smite. At the pace I'm going now, maybe not. But we will obviously absolutely do it in this channel. And when we read On the Way to a Smile, guys, you will see that there is an specific objective that the novels and the way the world is portrayed serve, right? Just recently came across the channel and I'm really enjoying the content. Thank you so much, Cybernetic 800. Really appreciate it. To use the Mako to help people, yeah. you know? And they have a conversation, and he's like, yeah, we'll just suck a little bit of Mako. And Sid is like, well, almost you're on your own here, right? He tells him there's no way you can do it. And it just shows you that humanity, Barrett, listen, Nojima used Barrett, who is the person who was the most against using Mako, to show you that right after this was done, the planet was saved, humanity wouldn't have had any problem going back to their old ways through Barrett of all people. He showed you that Barrett specifically was open to using Mako. Mako is just Vril. What does Vril? Thank you so much again, Tuxedo, for the super chat. What does Vril mean? My English is bad. My English is bad. Don't worry about it. What if Jenova is the conduit to make tangible what is metaphysical? Illusions, memories, hopes, and dreams are given form because of interplay between Jenova's cells. Yeah, and Jenova is able to bend reality and to change it into something. Like, we know that. It's one of her, if its properties is that it grabs reality and it shapes it to become something of an illusion, but it's like you're still experiencing it. You're not just dreaming. It changes the fabric of space-time or whatever into something that it wants to show you. But it uses memories to do that. This is the key thing, is that it peers inside of you. Sephiroth says it. Okay, let's go.
Biological point of view. If the life stream is a storehouse consciousness, the literal lifeblood of the planet, the whispers act as its immune response, like planetary white blood cells. They exist to prune these errant seeds and keep the stream of memory pure and aligned with truth, to physically force events back onto their intended path. As seen in Remake, when Sephiroth stabbed and killed Barrett, only for him to be revived by a whisper moments later. They are literally repairing the timeline's mutations, but by merging the biological view with the
Jenova is a trickster. The archetype. Trickster is also about defying fate. And I think that could be also closer to Sephiroth.
Yogacara, repairing the timeline's mutations, but by merging the biological view with the Yogacara framework, the whispers...
No, easy mid. We don't see. Let me even push it further. The only instances where we see whispers are either scenes where Cloud is, or the scene where Rufus is, he only sees it because he came into contact with Cloud and Toriyama confirmed that. Or we hear that Cisne saw them, but we don't see her seeing them. We just hear about it. Do you guys want me to go give you a memory symbol that nobody's talking about? I'm here for that, Mario. Hey, travail du chanson, comment ça va?
Shift from being a literal external force to being a symptom of a cognitive crisis. In Yogacara philosophy, the storehouse consciousness, aka the life stream, contains the seeds of all potential experiences. What we perceive as an external physical reality is simply the ripening of these seeds. If the external world is a projection of internal seeds, then the whispers are the manifestation of cognitive dissonance between the planet's truth and any errant seed of denial or deviation, with Cloud's fractured mind being the most dangerous. Cloud's memory is a chaotic mix of his own trauma, Zack's legacy, Aerith's death, and the true events of Nibelheim. His fragile ego is entirely built on a lie. Therefore, the destiny the whispers are trying to enforce isn't just a cosmic timeline. It is the brutal, objective truth. The whispers are the friction of the planet forcefully trying to correct Cloud's broken mind, actively fighting his delusions before they can permanently infect the lifestream. But when the party entered the Singularity and defeated the Harbinger at the end of Remake, everything changed. This event alone was like a second Big Bang.
Oh my god, is he gonna get into it?
Defeated, destiny was no longer predetermined.
Oh shit. I love the way it's built up. Guys, I think he figured it out better than I did. I'm just gonna be honest. Tom, the only challenge I would present to this about Cloud seeds kind of infecting the live stream and the whispers having to correct it is, what if those seeds are those of Sephiroth? This doesn't sound good. Imagine that those seeds are those of Sephiroth. You have a Beagle stamp that only appears in Remake, which has the whispers and whatnot, and is trying to infect whatever reality there is. And you only have it in the First Soldier, which is a world based on Sephiroth's memories. Like, everything in the First Soldier is a memory. We know it because we see Sephiroth at the end standing at the edge of creation and looking up, and we get the impression that he was remembering whatever was going on there. everything in the first soldier is a memory, and it's probably a seed that is being planted into the live stream as well. I would love for us to maybe pursue the idea that I'm not saying it's not Cloud's. I'm just saying, could it be that it's Sephiroth's, that it started from Sephiroth and Jenova, and that Cloud has been introduced to it? And if that is the case, when would it have started? I personally have a great idea of when it would have started according to my own understanding, but we can talk about it because I'm not sure if he goes into it. Yeah, I'm also tired. I've been having trouble sleep and waking up. I don't know why. I think you can paste links, Mario. Have you tried? You should be able to, but just try and let me know. If not, I'll try to check it out. I think you can. There you go. Okay. Do you think it's better that we see it now or later? I think we'll see it later, right? Minute 43:38. Okay. The hollow parasite. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Let's Mosey was saying something. Many villagers in Gongaga have seen the whispers too if you listen to them. Yeah. Sorry, what I said Cisne, I meant basically Cisne and her friends.
So where does Sephiroth fit into all of this? We assume his ultimate goal, the reunion of worlds.
He answered me 5 seconds later. I'm like, can we apply Sephiroth? Can we bring Sephiroth into the equation? He's like,
Sephiroth fit into all of this?
Where does Sephiroth fit into all of this? It just said it. I'm sorry, Travail. I haven't read. I feel embarrassed because you're going to keep asking me and I'm going to keep saying no. It's not that I don't want to. I just like, I struggle to sit down and read. You got to make a movie out of it. An anime. Okay. Memory image only in the dope video. Okay, we'll check it out, Mario, later when we finish this one. I just don't want to ruin the pacing. But thanks for sharing.
We assume his ultimate goal, the reunion of worlds, is to become a god ruling over a physical universe. But the lore tells a different story. In Crisis Core, when Sephiroth stabs Cloud, Cloud manages to overpower him and throw him into the live stream. At this
Huge
point,
spoilers.
Sephiroth's physical body is dead. However, his willpower is so strong that he doesn't return to the planet, allowing his spirit to persist, locate the northern crater, and begin reconstituting a new body over several years. The Sephiroth encountered throughout the games is actually Jenova's body, shapeshifting into his form, controlled by his conscious will from the crater to trigger the reunion, retrieve the black materia. Without his...
Guys, should I write also this theory changes everything? Because for me, this theory changes everything. I'm just trolling. For me, this theory changes everything. Because I never found a better way to explain it than this.
In reconstituting a new body over several years. The Sephiroth encountered throughout the games is actually Jenova's body, shapeshifting into his form, controlled by his conscious will from the crater to trigger the reunion, retrieve the black materia. Without his physical body, Sephiroth is a hollow, parasitic will. He lacks the autonomous, creative force of a natural soul to generate these stable worlds on his own. He needs Cloud. He requires Cloud's trauma to serve as the engine for his existence. By hijacking Cloud's denial, Sephiroth ensures he will, in his own words, never be a memory. The goal of the reunion becomes more than just reassembling Jenova's main body, regaining his full power and summoning Meteor. He wants to merge Cloud's errant worlds into one permanent reality, replacing the planet's collective consciousness with his own ego. He isn't just trying to rule the cosmos, he's trying to permanently hijack Cloud's soul. If Cloud never accepts reality, Sephiroth never becomes a memory, he becomes permanent. But this parasitic relationship doesn't just exist in the mind, it manifests in the flesh.
Due to what? We'll get into it. Tom, my friend, guys, he's presenting it in a better way than I ever did. This is the only thing I can tell you. Tom, my friend, I will add one suggestion or one idea once again. What if worlds equal personalities? In the dream sequence in chapter 14, when they are in the forest, thank you, Mario. I love it. Aerith says to Cloud in French. This is in French. Aerith says to Cloud, "You need to find your true personality." Right after he was dreaming between Terrier and Chihuahua and Terrier and Chihuahua and Pug and Chihuahua and whatever. I feel like those were all Cloud's dreams. Aerith tells him, "You need to find your true personality." If you look at the stamp designs, the Chihuahua breed seems to mirror Zack. the unconscious white dog who has a left bandage on its left arm seems to represent Cloud, because that's where Cloud has a bandage, and that's how he was carried by Zack also into Midgar. Could you take that logic and apply it and call it personality instead? Does the reunion of worlds become just the creation of a new personality that Sephiroth can control? I feel like this is why Sephiroth wanted to enact the reunion of worlds, is because he wanted to merge Cloud's personalities into one version, merge his dreams and his reality into one version that he now can control, because Cloud has the black materia. So if the reunion happens while the Prime Cloud has the black materia, then the Prime Cloud who has the black materia is the ego or the personality that wins and that takes over. I believe that Zack is there to keep the counterbalance to it. If Zack is there, we can always bring back some of his personality into Cloud. As long as Cloud's real personality is not there, we are not there. The reunion of worlds should not happen before Cloud's real personality is the one controlling things. I don't know if it's going to happen at the Northern Crater. It's possible, but we'll see.
If everything we've talked about so far is
Got
true,
it, travail du chanson,
it
yeah.
doesn't just explain what's going on in the remakes. It completely rewrites the biggest biological mystery in Final Fantasy VII lore: soldier degradation. What if degradation isn't a genetic flaw, but the planet's immune response kicking in? Humans aren't supposed to be pumped full of Mako, which is literally liquid storehouse consciousness. The planet's immune system violently rejects this infection, breaking down the host to reclaim its memories. We see this with Jesse's dad, who's in a coma, stuck between worlds after severe Mako exposure. His mind was overwhelmed and essentially collapsed. The difference between his case and the soldiers is the use of Jenova cells. Sephiroth's or Jenova's influence can turn something seemingly benign and symptom-free into something malignant. Jesse's dad doesn't physically decay because his Mako exposure is benign, but injects someone with Jenova cells first, and the planet has no choice but to attack the infection. We know
that's
the
an interesting
official lore
idea.
blames degradation on the flawed G-type process versus the pure S cell. But what if we look at that exact same outcome through our mind-only framework? In Rebirth, we see characters like Broden or Roche beginning to degrade, often triggered when Hojo performs additional experiments or when their will breaks, allowing Jenova's cells to take over and turn them into mindless men in capes. But if degradation is the planet's autoimmune response, why does Jenova end up taking over the host anyway? Shouldn't the immune system wipe Jenova's cells out? This is easy to explain using
question.
our own biology. Sometimes our immune system is tricked into a negative response through a specific mechanism. One of these mechanisms will sound very familiar: molecular mimicry. Sometimes viruses or bacteria share structural similarities with your own healthy cells. This resemblance can cause the immune system to mistakenly attack host tissues, triggering autoimmunity. If there is no intervention, your cells will quite literally degrade, and in a Shinra soldier's case, leaving behind only the resilient, parasitic Jenova cells to allow Sephiroth to take complete control.
I love the way he went about it here, because bro is using science. Science, bitch. He's using science. It's like, this is just an example of how it happens. It doesn't mean that Nojima sat down and studied all of this to make it. We just have to be like, when we listen to someone bring in an idea, we shouldn't like go and think about it literally. It's just using a concept to tell you that this is possible. Here's how it's possible. Imagine that this is how it's working. Mimic bitch Jenova. The architect of the ego. Thank you for bringing up the ego. And the self.
So how and why do Sephiroth, Zack, and Cloud resist degradation? Sephiroth has a sovereign ego, an absolute dominating sense of self that refuses to bow to any external force. When he is exposed to the live stream, he doesn't drown in the planet's memories.
So here's a question, Tom, again. Is that ego represented by the beagle breed? A stamp who is not very loyal, but also a hound who loves to fetch and run and whatever, like who is not kind of stubborn. I looked up the breeds a while earlier, I don't remember, but who is not as, you know, as much of a toy dog as the other breeds, like Pug, for example, or Corgi. Like he has his own thing.
Instead, his ego is so massively dense, that he subjugates the data. He looks at the collective consciousness of the planet and says, mine. He retains absolute perfection because his ego allows zero room for doubt, grief, or the will of the planet. Zack has a fortified ego,
right, Valdez.
a pure, unwavering, and harmonious sense of self. Zack knows.
So, Tom, this is where I agree. I agree with you on this. It's just that I feel like you moved into more of a psychological angle now, right? He moved into more of a psychological angle because before we were talking about the degradation, and there's degradation and there's Mako poisoning, which are different things. But guys, Dear Destiny, which the translation of is not yet available, obviously, but I have seen fan translations where sections say that the symptoms are not very far from one another. Like this Crisis Core combat mechanic. There you go. The symptoms of Mako poisoning and degradation are not very far. This is why there is this confusion about, is it Mako poisoning, is it degradation? It doesn't matter. The symptoms are more or less the same. The cause is not the same, obviously.
Is exactly who he is, a hero. When Hojo pumps Zack full of Mako and Sephiroth's S cells, Zack's mind acts as a perfectly sealed, impenetrable vault. When the planet's immune system sweeps through looking for leaking or corrupted vessels to destroy, it scans Zack and finds nothing wrong. His identity is flawlessly intact.
Oh, I love the link here.
Cloud had an empty ego, a shattered blank slate.
Yes.
Cloud's actual personality completely broke. By the time the Mako and Genova cells flooded his system, Cloud's strife essentially did not exist. There was no ego left to fight off the data breach. If degradation is an immune response looking for a compromised ego holding stolen data, Cloud accidentally achieved perfect camouflage. The planet's white blood cells couldn't lock onto him because there was no coherent identity to attack. But if he's perfectly camouflaged, why do we see Cloud struggle so much throughout the games? Whenever Cloud gets those headaches with the green livestream hue, it is my opinion that that is the planet's immune system trying to scrub the Genova infection out of his brain.
And I will confirm that because, is it in the Ultimania, the OG Ultimania, where it says that the flashes, the communication that Cloud gets in his head, so it's the black screen or white screen flash that we get in the OG, which the equivalent to here is these green screen flashes, glitches, whatever, is his true self trying to wake him up and trying to talk to him. That was already in the OG. Now, we also see Aerith get a static green glitch at the Temple of the Ancients when she's trying to communicate with the temple and tell them to, can you open the door for us? And I was like, what's going on here? Which might lead into what he's saying here, because he's saying it's the planet's autoimmune system in the way he's defined it, just to use this this example for us to be able to understand it. He is using that, and I think that's where he might be right, because Aerith getting that glitch means it's the planet talking to her, right? This could be the planet talking to Cloud, telling him, there's something wrong here. This memory is not what you should have, right? Or something like that.
And when is it that Cloud gets these headaches? In moments where his identity, his sense of self, and his truth are challenged. Cloud's headaches are not only his internal battle with the truth.
I want to add here, my theory about why Sephiroth appears here and tells him you can't save anyone is because Cloud has Zack's dreams inside of him. And as soon as he sees Aerith, that dream is triggered, and Sephiroth uses it to hijack Cloud's identity or mind or whatever and tell him, the Zack inside of you wants to save her, you're not going to save her. Something like that. This is how I interpret it. It could be totally wrong.
But with the life dream, the planet itself. Part 3's live stream sequence is the singular point where every cognitive conflict is resolved. Cloud and Tifa's conflicting narratives will end with the truth. By guiding him through his memories properly, Tifa will act as the mirror of truth. Cloud's denial of Aerith, Zack, and his mother's death will dissipate, and he will finally process reality. He will align his mind with the perfected nature of reality.
He will get to a world where it's either a 1-star stamp that represents him awake, a Labrador, a white Labrador, whatever, a pure Labrador that is not corrupted by any black or beige or whatever, or he will be in a world where there is no stamp, or it's a completely different breed and there are no stars or whatever. Hey, Teddy. Yeah. We can't wait.
Errant seeds will lose their power and dissolve. He strips Sephiroth of his anchor, starves the infection, and collapses the delusions back into a stabilized state of being. From this point on, the world we perceive as the player will be the true world.
Yes.
With no more of Cloud's delusions seeping in.
Thank you.
Cloud is finally able to deal with his trauma. What once was an empty ego, a shattered blank slate, now becomes a fortified ego, a pure, unwavering, and harmonious sense of self. Living up to Zack's dying words, Cloud really is his living legacy.
Wow. Look at that end. Look at the way he... Dude, I want more. I want more of this. 13 minutes, Tom. You just got this. You just got us pumped and set up. Personally, you just got me pumped and set up now. And you already like, it's done. I heard that he's gonna make a Zack video. I hope he does. I'm gonna be all ears when that drops. Thank you so much, guys. Go and check this video out. Go and like it. Share it if you like it. Share it with people who you think will like it. I have little to add. There are things that not I disagree with, but there are things that I would have phrased differently or explored differently, like the personalities. Can we explore the personalities? But listen, when he talks about Zack, I think he's gonna have to lean into that. So I'm assuming that he just wanted to keep it in a very digestible format. I would have loved to have more. I would have loved to have more. I did feel that some parts you probably, because you want to keep it to 13 minutes, so you had to maybe just jump over and stop, right? And just kind of bridge some things in terms of just going straight to the conclusion rather than build it slowly. But there are things that I think could have been a bit more elaborated on, but you would have he would have ended with a 1 hour video. I totally understand the logic. The thing is, another thing is, I was just browsing his channel and I realized that this guy already spoke about this.
This is not FF7 Rebirth.
God, pause. This guy already spoke about this in April 2024. This is not an essay. This is just kind of a video where he was, I think he was streaming and then checking this out. I'm not sure where this was, but we'll see. This is also 12 minutes. I'm wondering if we're going to see the original Zack death scene. Of course we will. Of course we will. That's going to be the resolution of Cloud's identity crisis. He's going to have to understand what happened in order to be who he needs to be. And I have a question, guys. The original, everything in the original gets resolved once we get to the live stream sequence, right? Why do we think that it's not going to get resolved when we get to the live stream sequence here in Remake? Why do we feel like the worlds are something like the biggest mystery in the original is Cloud's identity, right? And it gets resolved by the live stream sequence, and you have like, I don't know, 15% of the game to go before you just, or 20% before you finish. It's the high point, and the rest is just kind of payoff. If we apply the same logic here, if you think that the worlds will only get resolved at the very final cutscene, it means that the biggest mystery has moved from Cloud's identity to the worlds. I feel like this is where the problem is coming. Josh, let's go back to this, because you asked earlier, why do people hate this idea? I feel like for 5-6 years, people thought that the worlds and the multiverse and Zack's fate and Aerith's fate are now the biggest mysteries of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And so when we bring back this topic and we say, nah, the biggest mystery is his identities, the identity of the guy who sees a rift in the sky, just like we see it in his subconscious here. It's the identity of the guy who literally wakes up in one of those worlds, who is in Beagle and wakes up in Terrier, who is in Beagle and wakes up in Chihuahua and dreams of that. It's the identity of the guy who hears one of the other characters in the multiverse in his head. He hears Zack saying, I feel like I failed you, man. Right? You hope I'm right? I don't even hope I'm right, to be honest. I just, whatever they cook, I'm going to be in for the ride. I know it. I know I'm going to love it. I do want to check out, I'm not sure why the YouTube chat is not popping up in the, like, my own activity feed, but I just need the link to the video that you just sent me, Mario, right? How can I drop this here? You know what? I'm just gonna look it up and see if I can write the name. The New Reunion. Oh, that's the video by Sleep Easy. Okay, I can find it very easily. The New Reunion. Final Fantasy VII Remake solved. Sleep Easy, yeah. Yeah. I love the intro to this video with the glitches and everything, right? Is it? I feel like it is. I don't remember. So what minute did you say? 43:38. Let's go check it out. 43:38. You said, do you guys want me to give you a memory symbol that nobody's talking about?
Going forward will be
Is it the Angeal descended from the sky?
very vital to understanding Remake, tessellation. This pattern is known as tessellation. It just so happens to be the literal structure of DNA. And if you are familiar with Advent Children specifically, it is something that you have seen, well, you've seen it quite a lot. It's not only just all over Advent Children's key art, it's on the soundtrack cover, it's on the DVD, it's in the trailers for the movie, it's in the opening credits to the movie, it's even on the logo for the movie. This
Isn't it on the outro credits as well? When is that the way the words appear in the outro
Pattern is
credits
ev-
for both Remake, AC, Crisis Core?
everywhere. But what is tessellation's importance to the story? And how does Advent Children link this concept to the ideas that we have already been talking about, the concept of memories? As we know from Advent Children, geostigma is the disease contracted through feelings of loneliness and helplessness. It affects the body, but also the spirit.
I will just add to this. Geostigma is also physical. Yeah, the body and the spirit. Like you get exposed to
Is
geostigma
this
as well.
physical and psychological threat that creates the conflict that we have been talking about this entire time.
It's even on the tunnel in the final battle in the OG. Yeah, you're right, actually.
And Advent Children uses a lot of imagery to convey the unified conflict together. We see the importance of this relationship in brief flashes that we see throughout the film. It is these shots of cells in relationship to Fenrir, in relationship to Sephiroth, that the film is conveying how many levels this conflict with the self is taking place on.
We see it in the vision. Oh my god.
How many levels this
He's right.
conflict with the self
We see it here.
is taking place on. From the body's effort to combat geostigma, as mentioned by Vincent in the movie as being a physical virus that the body is trying to remove, to the emotional turmoil that allowed the people of Final Fantasy VII's world to get infected with it to begin with. That is the core of the use of tessellation that conveys the same conflict. It is this reason why it is most likely featured in so much of the movie's art as well.
But what is it?
The
'Cause
most
I
famous
don't
of
know what
these
tessellation
images
is, guys.
being used in one of the posters for Advent Children, also featured on the soundtrack. In this image, we see Kadaj being held by Cloud, the area that they are in reminiscent of the final confrontation that the two characters have at the end of the movie. Cloud holding Kadaj in a similar way that Cloud does after Kadaj's defeat. But I found this to be oddly reminiscent of a scene that we are familiar with from the OG. It is this way that Cloud holds Kadaj that is extremely similar to that of Aerith's burial scene. As we have already stated, the tie between this scene and Cloud is a key memory that holds many regrets.
Oh,
The
it's memories.
tessellation
Okay, I
imagery
gotcha.
is emphasized on the side that not only shows Kadaj's face, but also the hand that Cloud's infection with geostigma spreads on. This hand
Wait, what's that written
shows
there?
Kadaj's
M22. Is that actually there? I don't know. I got you. So tessellation is not a native speaker. Sorry, guys. Repeating pattern of geometric shapes that covers a flat surface completely without any gaps or overlaps. And so, is it used to represent memories? I got you. So in Final Fantasy VII, it's used to represent memories. Great point. I love this analogy. We wanted to check out his other content. So he's already saying Cloud's subconscious is creating alternate timelines, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth theory. This was in April 2024. So guys, take it with the context that it was in April 2024. It's also my first time discovering it. So naturally, it means that we need to understand that this was not after he has done probably all the research, and there is a lot of stuff that came out, and there is the first soldier, which was not complete by then. So there are probably things that are going to be outdated, but I don't think it's going to diverge too much from what he was saying. Let's see.
Man, this is from the original game, from Cloud's memories in the live stream. This is something. All we know is
Wait, was he the one who found that? Who found this?
Cloud's the only one that sees it. And possibly that's because it was part of Cloud's memories, which then leads to the other world that has that in the sky and everyone can see it. Is that a real timeline? Is that a real world? Or is that just, again, Cloud's subconscious? Are all these timelines just Cloud's subconscious?
Asking the right questions. Guys, the reason I get emotional and kind of not aggressive, I hope I'm not aggressive. I hope I'm not being like angry and mad at people for no reason. I just get very emotional with this because it's not people presenting something that is totally silly. Like, people have a genuine idea, which for me has as much merit as the sequel theory. Like, just sit down and discuss it and analyze it. And if it's wrong, all of us are going to be wrong. There is not a single theory there that is true. All of us are going to be wrong. Okay? So let us just discuss the ideas we want. Don't just shoot it down with, it's going to be terrible writing. What do you know about it?
And this scene in particular, like, this is really, really interesting. Beautiful. Cloud looking at the,
he reacted to himself
material here. I'm going to pause it on a couple of different things that kind of, I guess, like, it's focusing on it with a really, really high budget cutscene here. He's doing it one-handed, by the way. Like, this is some really high quality shit. So the fact that they focus on certain things that I'm going to pause it on, I think holds some real weight, that the theory that the materia is going to be Cloud's is very much true. And I believe that anyway. Regardless of these scenes, I believe that materia is Cloud's, and it's going to fill with Cloud's memories. But this is what I really... She's gone
I
now,
still don't have
obviously.
any thoughts about the hollow materia, by the way. The only thoughts I have about the hollow materia is that it's a reminder for Cloud that he did meet Aerith in the forest. And that he traveled between worlds. That's the only way I'm able to make sense of it. Is that at one point he's going to remember and he's like, oh yeah, I got this thing. How did I get this thing? Oh yeah, I was in this world. And she gave me the white materia. And I went back and she gave me this. And I gave her the white materia. And so maybe that's how they realized where Holy was. Like, it's possible that Sephiroth gaslights them in part 3 and is like, there was no Holy. Did you see a white materia? Because the party was not there. Did not see Aerith's death. So Sephiroth could be like, I mean, not directly, but the party could be prompted to think that, well, we don't know if where Holy is. But Cloud could be like, hold on. I have this materia. Where did I get this materia from? Oh yeah, Aerith gave this to me. And I gave her the white materia. And when we were there inside and I tried to save her, or when she died or whatever, the white materia fell and went into the live stream or the Forgotten Capital, whatever. And that's the only way I'm able to make sense of it. If there's any other ideas, I'm open.
That is big, man. They're not going to waste screen time on this, right? She's there. She's walking towards him. Yeah, but Cloud can just blatantly see her. He looks away for a second.
She's not there anymore.
She's gone. When Cloud is not looking, she is not there at all.
But she will be there at one point. So he was discovering the scene again.
And obviously, Cloud seeing certain things.
I'm going to speed it up a bit.
Player being Cloud in the scenario.
Oh, sorry.
We can only see her if Cloud sees her. And that just adds so much more mystery too.
Yeah.
So right here, when he's turning it, we get two different looks. Yeah, but Cloud can just blatantly see her. Hello. Like, at first, we see a clear look at Cloud in the materia. This is his materia, right? But now we see like a world upside down.
The tree, the promised land imagery, I'm aware of that. A lot of people have spoken about it.
Makes you wonder what that possibly means. And you hear, he puts that clear materia away, and it dinks and clinks right into the other materia that he has.
I hope he speaks about the fact that he should not have the black materia here.
And he notices it's the black materia. A lot of people have been theorizing that the clear materia is the black materia, but there's two materia here. You can hear them hit each other, right?
Yeah.
He puts this one away. Clink. There's a second one in there. He just has the black materia.
It's bigger.
And it is absolutely messing with him. And reunion, again, becomes so much more prominent. Oh, for fuck's sake. And this final bit, man. He throws it in the Buster Sword. Not like a normal materia. This is like Spider-Man / Venom fucking symbiote style
represents
shit.
Corruption.
It becomes one with the Buster Sword. Oof. And this Buster Sword, I believe in part 3, is going to be... there's going to be new combat mechanics with the sword. because it's infused with the black materia.
It's possible.
I think we've already been hinted at it in Rebirth with the dark side materia being one of them. I think part 3 is going to be very dark for Cloud.
Yeah.
So much so that
Especially at
he's
the
just
beginning.
not going to see himself at all. Like, we get glimpses of him, of the real him throughout all of Rebirth, all of Remake. Part 3, I don't think we're going to see him until the live stream sequence.
Yes, I agree.
I think we're going to see
He's
a very
gone.
dark version of Cloud. And that's because of the black materia kind of just taking over, in a way. On top of Genova and Sephiroth and all that mystery and manipulation, right?
You have to promise not to look up.
And notice here, he looks up, and there's the rip in the sky, the tear in the sky. Does this look familiar to anybody? Does anybody think they know what this is? And I think people, in order to know what this is, need to think back to the original game. And I don't think it's made obvious.
Wait, was he the one who found it? I need someone to tell me, someone who was there online, because I wasn't really online in the Final Fantasy VII community back then. I remember someone figured it out. The tessellation pattern can be seen. Also, like, isn't this just... Hold on. Isn't this again the particles? Like, doesn't it... Listen. Doesn't it feel that if you jump inside of this thing, you will just end up where Sephiroth was talking to Cloud? Oh, yeah. You're right. I feel like if you jump inside this, you will end... Look at this. Like, if you jump here, you will be in the area where Sephiroth was talking to Cloud. And it looks like it's darker inside of it as well. I always thought it would be like more, I don't know, like white or whatever. Yeah. It's weird.
I mean, it's obvious, but you really have to look in the original game to notice it. Like, it isn't...
What if it's just a tunnel? It's the edge of the worlds. That's literally the edge of the world. That's literally maybe that could be where the edge of creation is. It's when you get there, when you traverse that, you are at the edge of creation. It does seem like the wormhole seen from the outside. It's like... Let me link it with something else, though. Oh, God. 18 Remake, right? No, I don't want easy mode. Dude. Okay. Okay, that was too loud. It also looks a little bit like something like this. Curious to know. It looks as though if you go inside, you would be inside one of those tears. You know? That's what it feels like to me. I think Sephiroth will let us stab him in order for the black materia on the Buster's sword to merge with him, giving Cloud the black materia in other way. You know what they could pull off? I think they might show us that Sephiroth doesn't appear anymore. He only appears once you get to the Whirlwind Maze. And at the end, when you give him the black materia, he's like, who the hell were you? But he only appears in visions, and he's like, he doesn't appear in the main world anymore because he got what he wanted. He already got Cloud to get the black materia. Yeah, this looks like what a rift would be from inside, no? And look, it feels like we will go inside of it. Look at him struggling. How is this not about Cloud's fractured mind? Look at his eyes. Look at his... He's going somewhere. His mind is going somewhere. This reminds me exactly of the moment his spirit traveled to the edge of creation in the original game. This is exactly what it was. Oh, come on. This is a rift. You know why? Because when you look at the edges, it looks like the edges of the rift. Do you see it? It's pretty much the same thing. Like the rifts, I think, are edges of... Yeah, exactly. Let's mosey that's what you said. It's like the wormhole seen from the outside. This is exactly what I wanted to convey, and you said it perfectly. And then he's here. Okay? I think that this is where Cloud is at the moment. I think this is his physical state. He's fallen somewhere, guys. He's probably fallen after the Northern Crater. Let's stop analyzing randomly generated shapes now. I know. This is why we do this, babe. Why can't I like her comment? I want to like my wife's comment. Oh my god. Thank you for the super chat, Darkspell27. I can't like her comment. Whatever. Yeah, I think so. I agree, Josh. But okay, let's carry on.
Pointed out, right? In the OG, in the live stream sequence, this exists. This exists in the original game. This isn't a new thing for Rebirth. Look here. In the live stream sequence, when Tifa's helping Cloud, look in the background. This is not FF7 Rebirth random shit being thrown in. This is from the original game. From Cloud's memories in the live stream. This is something. And that is so fucking, like, it's massive to me. That seems insane. What the tier is, who knows, right? Who actually knows? All
It's
we know
the
is
edge of the world.
Cloud's the only one that sees it. And possibly that's because it was part of Cloud's memories, which then leads to the other world that has that in the sky and everyone can see it. Is that a real timeline? Is that a real world? Or is that just, again, Cloud's subconscious? Are all these timelines just Cloud's subconscious?
Guys, one of my many crackpot theories is that when he came back, this is the first time he's in the real world. He is now he has half of, like, 1 foot in the real world and 1 foot in his unconscious reality. But until then, he was in the fake world. The tunnel, Josh, I feel like the tunnel at the end of the OG almost represents the 3 discs. You have break number 1, break number 2, and then you get into the 3rd section. And at the end of break number 1 or 2, you get the white materia fallen. Almost as if after Aerith's death, you get the white materia. Like, I really feel that the wormhole represents us going through all the events of Final Fantasy VII. Maybe we can check it out one day or maybe today.
Other people exist within Cloud's mind. There's so many moments throughout Remake and Rebirth. I think it's particularly Remake when you finish all of, it's a secret cutscene as well. When you finish all of Chadley's VR battles and stuff,
yes,
he comes out and says, "Thank you, thanks to Cloud's, I don't know the exact, I'm going to paraphrase here. Thanks to Cloud's infinite potential,
you have unlocked the infinite potential inside of you.
He was able to break free from his constraints. Like, he was able to no longer be this program, this holographic thing. He became a real person. He got Pinocchioed by Cloud. Cloud has more power than is let on. Cloud is on the same level as Aerith and Sephiroth in terms of big godlike powers.
I agree.
And that's why I believe Cloud and the clear materia after that live stream sequence are going to be massive. And I'm wondering, with that being in Cloud's subconscious, this part,
look at Jesse's pose,
and this being his memories within the live stream, is it possible that all these timelines in some way are actually just in Cloud's subconscious? And
how the hell were people already talking about this in 2024? Wow, I'm impressed.
Zack isn't alive? Because Cloud's the only one that seen Zack. None of the rest of the party did, right? Am I right in saying that? It's only Cloud that had Zack there. It's all to do with Cloud and his subconscious, man. Watch the clear materia be the only reason he can use Omni Slash in the 3rd game. For Stardust, that's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. I feel like after the live stream sequence,
my only problem with the empty materia being that what keeps Cloud's memories is that I think that the whole point of Cloud's journey and its resolution is that he doesn't need anything anymore. He's just him at the end. So him just needing the materia for me would undermine the fact that this is Cloud and he's strong enough now and he has enough clarity that he doesn't need anything or anyone to be grounded. And so him needing a materia would make it seem as though he can only be himself with the materia. Spiritual energy is the most powerful. I agree. It's also his ability to... It is Cloud's biggest thing, guys, is for me his compassion. Cloud, I think, loves and cherishes people in a way that is harmful to him. Bunke! That's Advent Children when he doesn't need anything else. Exactly. So maybe he still needs it in the OG, like in part 3, right up to the end. I don't know. Maybe he needs to just summon another holy, right?
All of Cloud's memory.
He brings holy with him in that materia. Bunke, I'm not sure if you saw the first part of this. That video is awesome.
Are going to all pile up into this materia, and that's going to be what he is able to use against Sephiroth right at the end. That's going to be ultimate Omni Slash 3000.428765 million. right? He's just going to fucking obliterate with every version of Cloud throughout all of the compilation.
Exactly.
Every different fucking version of Cloud that's ever killed Sephiroth is all going to join in with that one materia. And they're all going to fucking hit him at once. That is
And Kingdom Hearts
ending.
Cloud.
And I also haven't heard this theory. This is something that I think I've come up with on the spot. I haven't heard of anyone say it. I might be wrong. But with it all being Cloud subconscious,
I can tell you that in April 2024, I don't think people were saying it. Chrono Wiser, can we say that this game and the ending are a slap in the face for entire legacy of the original, especially since they changed the ending 5 times? I totally disagree, my friend. I personally love this. If you can tell me why you don't like this, I'm all ears. I personally love the way they are telling the story. I think that if they were going to tell the exact same story the exact same way over 3 games, I don't think it would have worked. If they had done it over just 1 game, I can see the possibility for a 1-to-1, but they were clear on the fact that if they wanted to elaborate on the world as much as they dream of, they can't do Final Fantasy VII over 1 game, right? And they were very clear on that. So as soon as they decided to make it 2-3 games, I think that the writing was on the wall on the fact that they need to make this much more mysterious than the original. And it's understandable for me. Now they have the tech to do this kind of stuff. I don't think they will change the ending. I don't think the ending is being defined as a fate or whatever. I think the fate being defined is twofold. The first layer is the fate of Cloud becoming a puppet, just like the 3 Genova remnants. And I think the second fate is eventually the fate of the planet. Because at this point, Cloud is supposed to be lost and above all afraid of whether he is really himself or not. Aerith's death is what's biggest in this change. Yeah, I agree. I agree, but your second message is kind of contradictory to the first one. If you can elaborate on... I feel like the first one you said that, you know, they're just ruining it, whereas in the second one, you're a bit more like talking about Endgame. Especially when Sephiroth tells him that he is a puppet and what he feels is not real. Yeah. And then he even asks his companions to accompany him, to help him, and above all, to stop him if he acts strangely. Oh, right, you're talking about Cloud in the original. Oh, so are you saying that the remake ruined the fact that he only starts to become a puppet once Aerith dies? So now in the remake they kind of ruined that because he's a puppet much before. I don't think there's a problem with that, because once again, remember that we're experiencing this story over 7-8 years. So you're gonna have to make some changes to certain story beats, and as long as you land in the same spot, I personally don't see it as a problem, but I can understand how people don't like it. Yeah, I mean, they changed the ending 5 times. I understand how people dig there and find this kind of stuff. I don't think that they changed the ending. It's just that, listen, it's a work in progress, and sometimes things will be revised. So I don't think like the things I have a gripe with is translation and localization being changed after the game releases. If you change a story element for me after the game is released, that is a disaster. For me, that is a big disaster. In the game files, I know that Sid and Vincent would fight everyone. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Listen, this is just the way they decided to do it, but we can't take whatever they did while preparing the game. The game was not out before they changed the ending, right? The game was out and the ending did not change. If the ending changed after the game was out, that's where I would have had a problem. This is my personal opinion. The ultimate Omnislash is in Advent Children, yeah, but we'll see perhaps a slightly neutered version. And yeah, I agree, Bunke. I agree that it's more in Advent Children. But listen, I think with Tom here, because there was still the idea that this is kind of not multiverse, but like it's an outside the original thing. So I believe that even if you ask him now, probably he has changed his stance on this. They didn't change anything. They just make us experience the game as Cloud himself. I agree. Not giving the player instant gratification of the original doesn't make this bad. I totally agree, guys. But the new director thinks he created a wonderful ending in cliffhanger because that's not true. But clearly that's not true. Listen, my friend, this is your opinion. I personally think that what he created is great. I personally love the way this is. I gotta admit that at the beginning when I was just experiencing the Aerith death scene and the end of Rebirth, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is very confusing. But the thing is that whenever I went and replayed it, I was like, oh, hold on. There is something more here that I missed. And what this made me realize is that the ending is much better than what it felt at first. And that it's like we didn't feel it at first because we didn't get the idea. But then once we got the idea and you focus on the execution, I feel like the execution stands out as something that is very well done. The other thing is that, listen, we are hardcore FF7 fans to an extent. As in, we are crazy, we are desperate. We just play this game over and over and over again, and we analyze and analyze and analyze it. But the vast majority of people will not have replayed Aerith's death by now. Like, the vast majority of people will not have replayed Rebirth. Imagine their faces when they go and they finish part 3 and sometime randomly they decide to replay all 3 games in one go. They will discover so many things that they missed that we have discovered because we replayed the game 15 times. But people who are not big FF7 fans will discover a lot of stuff. Both the stuff that is recontextualized by part 3, but more importantly, the stuff that they did not pick up, which we already picked up potentially, right? They should have given him a proper send-off showing more things or places, but the way they removed so much, prioritizing minigames or including Chadley as Navi, takes away the essence of the game. I platinumed this game and the final reward was so bad, I thought I was playing something by Yoko Taro. Well, I don't think Yoko Taro games are bad either, right? But anyways, I diverge in opinions. I personally love this game. I love the way they are executing it. I know that it's not for everyone, that not everyone likes it, and it's fine. And I'm glad to hear that you gave it a chance and you platinumed it, at least, before coming to this judgment. It means that you gave it a chance. Confusion is intentional and depreciation will be a slow burn. Exactly, Bunke. That's what we were diving into, right? They threw a lot of stuff at you similar to the end of Remake, but yeah, it is intentional. And we missed stuff on the first playthrough that we realized on the subsequent ones, but we will also realize a lot of things once part 3 comes out and recontextualizes that. And Hamaguchi just said that. He said that I hope that people play the third part and then come back to play it. Have you played the Dragon Card games? No, and I haven't played. Is Dragon Card just the Nier games? No, I haven't.
I need to dive further into it because I don't really have much evidence.
Yeah, I see. He was still kind of making.
I feel like it's a really
that
cool
idea.
theory. That perhaps the whole idea of multiversal shit is real in some way. I mean, that goes back to me saying that I don't believe it's going to be all that important. I think it's just for storytelling. I don't think anything.
This is the most important thing. The worlds don't necessarily, they are there, but it doesn't mean that they are the biggest mystery. This is what we've been trying to say. Or they either serve the purpose of the biggest mystery, which is Cloud's identity, or they will just get resolved in a way that is not bigger than Cloud's identity. The cheap excuse that there are many timelines takes all the weight out of the game. Well, what we're saying is that there are no timelines, Chronowiser. These are not timelines in a multiverse kind of thing. And I'm not sure if you've been watching the stream from the beginning, but I personally believe that much of the dream worlds are essentially just Cloud's unconscious, as Tom is saying very well here.
Likely to happen. I think Cloud, like he did with Chadley, in hitting him with the full-on Pinocchio, making him a real boy. Even though he is still AI, he is a real walking around human now, as opposed to like a hologram. In Remake, I'm pretty sure he was just a hologram. We didn't see him as a real person, right?
Towards the end is when we saw him.
Remake in 4 years, man. Yeah, so far I'm not seeing anything to dispute the fact that it could possibly just be Cloud's subconscious, and that is his big power. He's able to create all of this world, and
I also think his power is that he sees things in the live stream. Cloud's power is that because he has access to the live stream because of the Mako poisoning state that he was in. The problem currently is that Cloud is unable to understand reality from a dream, from fiction, from Sephiroth corruption, from anger, from vengeance that is weaponized against him. Once he understands and controls all of that, maybe that's what the materia gives him, the empty materia. But once he understands all of that, he will become strong and have a head start over Sephiroth. He will know what Sephiroth wants to do because he has seen his plan. Like, just imagine the vision where Sephiroth summons Meteor and absorbs it. Cloud has seen it twice by now. So when we get to part 3 and people are like, but what does Sephiroth want to do when he summons Meteor? He could be like, you know what? I saw in those visions that he wants to absorb the live stream that comes rushing towards Meteor. And that's a very easy way to give a payoff to why they were seeing those visions. Part 3 needs to set up on the way to a smile, 100%. My opinion is that it already has set them up. I feel like it's already setting up on the way to a smile with some of the things. Like the Nanaki one, the Red 13 one that we spoke about is crazy. And we need an epilogue. I want I either want a long epilogue or I want DLCs. I want episode Red 13, episode Barrett. Please give Square Enix. Please give us this episode Red 13, episode Tifa, episode Barrett, episode Yuffie, episode Shinra, and throw in an episode Vincent and episode Sid there just for fun. Funny thing is that what they established with Aerith, that she could see the future, felt much more, and both Marley and other people made it clear to them. In Rebirth, they wasted so much of it that even the novels they released don't explain it well, because in Traces of Two Past, they explain what happened to Glenn, how the Mako leaves people and affects them until they turn into hooded men. Yes, but I don't understand how you make the link between that, because did you want them to show you how Glenn turned into a hooded man? Glenn didn't turn into a hooded man, by the way. Glenn is just appearing that way because he's dead. And in Dear Destiny, they explain more about what happened to Aerith in her teens after the end of Crisis Core, including her talking to Hojo, yeah, and telling her that she's cursed and all that those who surround her end up dying. Yes, I think she mentions fate as well, right? But I don't think that they wasted potential with Aerith. I just believe that, guys, it's a slow burn. Just be patient, okay? I understand that it can be frustrating at times. I understand that some direction choices can make no sense. Just give it some time. Once the mystery is told and the answer is not satisfying, fine. We can sit down and criticize it all together. I will not shy away from saying something I don't like something if that's the case. One of the visions in Remake is shown is the VR room. Is VR very telling? I agree. In OG, they already have future vision, even in the Dirge of Cerberus with Lucrezia seeing Genova and the death of Aerith. I agree. I want something as long as the Stranger Things epilogue, personally. I haven't watched that, but I heard
make things real.
Good and bad things about it.
In some way, like he has with Chadley. I think Chadley, although he is just a...
I don't agree, Chrono. I think that Hamaguchi has been great for them, but listen, it's my opinion.
I mean, he is who he is. Like, he's not really that important of a character. I think he's very important in what he's saying. Talking about Cloud's limitless, infinite potential. Yeah, what if Cloud's the only thing that can change fate, change everything, change life, change timelines, change everything?
I love how he's just letting his imagination run here. I love it.
And it's all within his mind, and that's why fucking Sephiroth and Omni Aerith know that. And they...
Well, where I disagree with him here is that I think that he is powerful because he is in the middle of the Sephiroth versus Aerith fight. I think that if the planet's crisis is a simulation and all the jigsaw puzzles were already put in their spots, or like all the parameters were already set in a simulation, I think that Cloud is the one missing factor that needs to pick. Do I go right or do I go left? Right is, for example, Aerith, and left is Sephiroth. And I think Cloud's power is his unique position and his compassion and his great, not personality, but like his pure soul. Let's call it that way.
Want to keep him on track to Aerith wanting to stop Sephiroth and Sephiroth wanting to take him to be like with him because he's so much more powerful than Sephiroth is. If that's the case, like Cloud can create what he wants. If this is real,
it's possible.
Cloud can do that. I don't know. I think I'm really reaching fucking hard, but wow, that's nice, dude. I am so sold on this right now.
I agree, Bunke. I still feel that it's more holy because it just makes sense. But I think like it's Cloud's choice. I think that path is essentially Cloud's choice. Why would that make sense? Because Sephiroth tells him it's up to you, right? And so that just confirms that. Nomura had a different version, but when he went on to Kingdom Hearts, many things were lost and they didn't manage to do anything right. If you only knew how fed up I am with the awful rhythm of Rebirth, it was horrible. I'm so sorry, Chrono. I understand your frustration. And I understand that people didn't like this. Listen, my wife, who admittedly is not a Final Fantasy VII fan, played it and hated Rebirth. I understand, it's fine. I just personally love it. Nomura directed the first 2 chapters. From then on, it was Hamaguchi. Yeah, but I don't feel like there was a big drop. I mean, it's just because of the story. Like, you start with the Nibelheim flashback, everything that comes afterwards is not going to be as big, naturally. Unless you end at the Northern Crater. So the big chapters started from the Temple of the Ancients, which were great, I feel, right? Gongaga was absolutely amazing. Gongaga is a great example of stuff that we didn't think we needed in the remake trilogy, yet we still got, and it turned out good.
come up with, it's my fucking headcanon now. It's all to do with Cloud and his subconscious. None of this is actually like really happening. I feel like there's a mixture of all the theories.
For me, it is. Ever since Gungaga and that horrible chapter on the ship where they almost force you to play cards. I love the card game. Why do you hate on my
Everyone's
card
come up
game?
with. I feel like all of it has weight, and I feel like all of it's going to intertwine. I don't think anyone's theories are correct. But that rift in the sky, and the only people that have ever been able to...
I agree, Bunke. I think they need to do a good job contextualizing how Aerith convinces the live stream to rush towards Meteor and save the planet. In the Ultimanias, I think it says that the planet... I think it's because Cloud defeated Sephiroth. I think that's the one thing that... So it's up to you. I think the path of space-time is Cloud go into the... So Cloud is powerful because he is the one person where Sephiroth's last consciousness fragment lives. So Sephiroth attaches himself to Cloud. We know that from On the Way to a Smile, for example, right? So if Sephiroth's existence is only tied to Cloud, then it means that Cloud is in a special position where he has the keys to obliterate Sephiroth's hold on reality. And so this is why I believe the planet needs to see Cloud beat Sephiroth so that it's able to push back on Meteor. Because it's not enough, because Sephiroth's will, it's a battle of will. You have the planet's will, you have Sephiroth's will, and you have what humans want. And so if the planet needs to, if the planet wants to win and defeat Meteor, I think that they need to weaken Sephiroth's will. And I think this is where Cloud comes in, because he beat Sephiroth at the Edge of Creation in the original game towards the end. That's how Sephiroth's will dissipated, and that's how they were able... Oh my god, this is what happens in Remake. We already see that in Remake. Cloud beats Sephiroth. The corruption is then removed because the planet is finally able to heal. So the planet healing depends on Cloud beating Sephiroth because Sephiroth's will is blocking everything from healing. It's as simple as this. I didn't realize it was as simple as this. A lot of people forget that there is even more meandering in the OG after Calm. Well, absolutely. Between Calm and the Temple of the Ancients, what happens? Right? Gongaga is the worst chapter. Listen, I know you hate some things here. I just love Gongaga. I love the trilogy, so... The little bit they showed off when Tifa fell into the live stream with Cloud? Come on. That's literally what the live stream sequence is going to be like. Even if they contain entries for Rocket Town and stuff, doesn't mean necessarily it's going to happen. It was just work in progress. It's normal that they decide to chop and add stuff in between, no?
See it?
Remember, imagine the Gongaga chapter you hate, Chrono, that's where they were going to stop. Can you imagine if Rebirth stopped there?
Omni, Aerith, Cloud, and everyone in the other timelines that have it in the sky. They're the only people that have seen it. Sephiroth as well. The whole convoluted and confusing...
But the only difference here, Tom, is that Cloud saw it in real time. Like, he went to Chihuahua and he came back to Beagle and he says to Barrett, I was in another world. We have no proof that Aerith traveled from the worlds or the world of the main party and then went into Chihuahua and came back with Cloud. As a matter of fact, Aerith is fully functional and alive while Cloud is dreaming in the Chihuahua world. So the Aerith that we meet in the Chihuahua world cannot be the same one as the one from the Beagle world. Because the one from the Beagle world was alive and walking with the party while Cloud was dreaming, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is he is also the only guy who sleeps and hears that world in his mind and wakes up. I think that the final battles are there because they're planning to add more towards the end. For me, that's the simple explanation. So they wanted to get this stuff out of the way because clearly we're not going to fight Bizarro Sephiroth again, right? Just that makes sense.
It is Remake and Rebirth together. Oh, it's going to...
Now, here is an idea, Chrono. Imagine that all the fights that you were seeing are actually the end of the OG. Imagine that Remake is jumping between the present and the future, which is the end of the OG. We're jumping back and forth. Imagine that whenever you cross into a portal, you're just seeing the party go into the North Cave to beat Sephiroth once and for all. If that's the case, then what we are doing by beating Bizarro Sephiroth is happening in real time, potentially. Do you see what I mean? That's the actual fight at the end recreated.
Feels so good in part 3 when it's
a
all
theory.
answered, when everything gets answered. That payoff is going to be so worth it.
Yes,
people
sir.
don't understand, right? Long-term storytelling across 3 games are so
We just
mad
said
that
it.
fucking like things aren't getting explained right now in part 2. Oh, Like, it is so good.
Guys, go and support this video because I want people to watch it. Because
What
this
if
guy
everything we
presented
think we
it.
know
This
about-
guy presented this video better than I ever did, I believe, or this idea better than I ever did. So I really love the way he built his thoughts here. I hope. Oh, he's here. Don't bother with this old video. This was my first thought straight after finishing Rebirth. I was saying that we shouldn't kind of be harsh, or we shouldn't kind of criticize whatever ideas are there, because you literally just finished Rebirth, and it seemed like it looked like you were actually kind of trying to figure out the story again while rewatching, because it was the first time you finished it. Hey, listen, my friend, this is amazing. I was saying we have the same idea, but you presented it in a way which I've never thought about, because I think you take what people already familiar with, the concept of worlds and multiverse even, and live stream, and you kind of bring some perspective to that, and you say, okay, let me take the same concept and then just apply it to what I think is really happening, which is Cloud's singularity of Cloud's unconscious. And I totally agree with most of the things you said. I think it's a great way of presenting it. If you go back and we watch the VOD, I'm gonna leave it up, but I had some suggestions in terms of things that could you think this is something that could be explored. What else? I saw on Twitter that you were planning to have a Zach video up, because there were, listen, when we reached the 13th minute, we were like, oh my god, this is just getting started, we want more. So Tom, we want more of this. Guys, everyone in the chat, tell Tom we want more of this. We want more of this video. We want more Zach. We want more singularity, because it's been coming from very, I'm not gonna say not loud parts of the fandom, and people are discarding it like it's gonna be bad writing. It's all a dream trope. I want people to understand that this is not where it's coming from, and maybe I was not explaining it personally in the right way. And you have been doing it much longer than I did, but I feel like you just had the time maybe, or the idea to actually put it into a video. So I would absolutely watch a 3-hour essay where you talk about this. Yes, I think this is why you kept it at the 13th minute mark, because I know that it must have been, this is why I was saying earlier, some parts I would have loved for you maybe to just build the reasoning a bit more and to bridge the gap, but I understand as well, but you can't do that in a 13-minute video. Like, you have to jump from one thing to the other. It's not going to be possible. Otherwise you end up with a 1 hour 20 video like the ones that I post. So I understand you. The biggest smoking gun besides the tear in the sky is Cloud in a wheelchair. Like, listen, the smoking guns are all over the place. It's hilarious to me that people criticize the remake spacing when they just expose the lack of connective tissue between OG plot points. I agree. Especially that the OG doesn't really show you even why you're following Sephiroth, because at the very least here you see what, like, at least in Remake you fight Sephiroth and you see what his intentions are at the end of Remake. So when you're following him in Rebirth, you're like, okay, this guy wants to do something bad. Imagine you're playing the OG for the first time. Why the hell am I following Sephiroth? Like, we didn't even hear that he wants to do something bad. We just heard that he lost his mind and he said, Mother, let's reclaim this planet, and now he's no more. So, like, why the hell would I follow him? Like, it fixes continuity issues. The Remake really fixes continuity issues in the sense that it gives you a much stronger reason to follow Sephiroth. Fact that both Nomura and Hamaguchi admitted in December they didn't even know how to finish the game bothered me and left me with doubts. Yeah, but Hamaguchi also said he played 40 playthroughs of Part 3, so I don't know. Did he say it, Chrono? Did Hamaguchi say that the ending or the final fight might come into the DLC later because they might not be able to finish it? Guys, can you let me know if there is an article that says that, because I missed it. He will bring Chadley back and that he will be important. Listen, I think that's just buzzwords. I don't think he's going to bring him important in a way where he's just important to the story. I think he's just kind of throwing that so that people kind of understand that Chadley's not going anywhere. The awful card game will return. I don't know if you're being serious or if you're trolling now, because the whole fandom loves the awful card game, but it's fine for you to not like it anyways. Chadley might be important to Dirge of Cerberus. That is a great idea. Tom, we need more of this. We need the Zach video. Yesterday. No, seriously, I'm like, thank you so much for putting this up. Would love to have you over. I mean, let's chat, you know, let's chat. Let's try to organize something, because we We have a lot of ideas. We came to similar conclusions, but using different frameworks. And there are a lot of people here who have even more different frameworks. So I want to confront those two ideas together. I'll have to rewatch that interview. That's not the vibe I got from it. Right? So yeah, essentially this is it, guys, for this video. Again, give it some love and make sure that you subscribe and you follow and you like this video. Don't ask ChatGPT, watch the interview. Anyways, let's keep it down, folks. Do we have time for some Case of Tifa? We have time for some Case of Tifa. We have about 30 minutes, I would say. I think, yeah, talking about his character arc. Yeah, I agree, Josh. Okay. On the Way to a Smile, my friends, is, for everyone who doesn't know it, this is a novel or a collection of novels that was posted or published by Square about in 2009, and it covers the 2 years between the original game and Advent Children in terms of events, and it served to bridge the gap between the two. What we will read today is completely fan-translated, guys. This is by the livestream.net. I'm sure many of you here know already the website. Many of us are already active in the Discord of the livestream.net. So please keep in mind that this is fan translated. There are a lot of things here which will not obviously carry over the same way into the native, the actual official English translation. What I heard is that it doesn't really change. There isn't it's very well translated here, and I trust that. And obviously, what we are reading here is just for the sake of analysis. If you guys want, the actual thing, you can find the English translated version. I'm still personally waiting for my version to ship and to receive it, because there are very few left, and there is definitely nothing online or EPUB. You can't buy an EPUB, a digital version. I haven't found it. If anyone finds a digital version of the actual officially translated in English On the Way to a Smile, please link me that. I only found physical versions and I'm still waiting for mine to ship. Part of me wanted to make a longer video for sure, but I've written the script a ton and didn't want to have the video drag too much. I'll make a start on the Zach video, see what I can do. Listen, you manage your channel, my friend. You know what's better for your content, and I've seen your content, and I know that it's you're not really active in the crux of your channel is not really long essays. But I can tell you that these topics, I feel like when you make a lot, if you have an hour-long worth of thoughts that you want to share, I would support that, because these topics need a lot of time. Not to say that yours was not developed. It was, I think, very concise, and I think you just summarized in a different way, from a different angle, what, for example, I tried to do with the first 57-minute video, whatever. But I think there is definitely people are willing to engage with something like that for a long time if it has value, and I can definitely see value there. So this is my opinion, of course. Don't take it as gospel. Hello, Lydie. I'm back. I can't wait to see you again. Hi, Mom. Guys, there's Mom in the chat. Give her some love. Thanks, Mom. I love you. It's nighttime, though, for you. She's just it's midnight her time. I translated all of Dear initially my 2 native languages. Chrono, can you link me Dear Destiny in private? You can link it to me on Twitter. But it's just to check it out. I'm not gonna post it. Obviously, it's forbidden to post fully fan translated stuff, right? This is just for the sake of analysis. No, don't post it. It happened recently and people didn't like it. You can find me on Twitter. Where is? Or you can join the Discord. If you join the Discord, you can drop it there. Traces of Two Pasts is officially translated, so I think that's fine. Right. Case of Tifa. Why is Case of Tifa important? I've been aware of Seed for a while, but I haven't seen many of his videos. Unfortunately, I knew that he'd explored stuff about Jungian psychology. I'll have to see what your videos about Zach are. I haven't put out any Zach videos, and it's interesting because I've only spoken about Zach in very sporadic ways. Like the very first video I made, you definitely will see some Zack connections, but I don't explain what I think he is. And in the Sephiroth video, like the biggest one, I definitely did not talk about Zack almost at all, right? Yeah, I don't think I've spoken about Zack at all, even in that video. I think the Jungian video is actually probably the one where I'm really talking about Zack. It's the Jungian Dreams video. It was a stream. It was taken from a stream. But I haven't put out an essay about Zack. You're giving me ideas now. Maybe I should put out an essay about Zack. Bunke, feel free to develop the idea. I mean, I can develop it. I think that Zack, just the Zack world represents the ideal of a hero. I think it's an avatar inside of Cloud's unconscious that serves the purpose of carrying Zack's legacy inside of him. I don't think he is him. I think that maybe at times he is hijacked by Zack's true consciousness, but I think he's based on Zack's memories. And I think at moments you have... thanks, Mario. It's great to have you on the Discord. We chat about a lot of theory stuff, by the way. I think that Zack in Rebirth has a lot of moments where I believe that Cloud's unconscious of him kind of imagines what would have happened. I think Aerith might have something to do with it as well, but I feel that it's happening inside Cloud's unconscious. I feel that it's something below the surface that fuels Cloud's journey on the surface almost. It's this. Listen, the simplest way I can think of it, guys, is the following. We're not going to get you on the way to a smile today, are we? Exactly, a thematic inversion of the OG flashback. I believe...
You cherish most.
Oh, music, sound. I believe that this Zack...
You need a hand with him?
I believe that this is Rebirth Zack. I believe that the entire arc of Zack is just set up in order to explain to us and contextualize his appearance here. Nomura said that Aerith, who appears in Advent Children, is her consciousness living on inside of Cloud and inside of people. He said that when people die, it doesn't mean, I think maybe Nojima also said this, when people die, they don't just dissipate in the live stream. They do, but also we keep a part of their consciousness inside of us in a very abstract and symbolic way. And I believe this is what's happening here, is that those fragments of Aerith and Zack live on inside of Cloud. It's essentially their impact on him that lives on. And I see the journey, the entire journey of Rebirth Zack as exactly something that is going to culminate by this. I think that once the worlds merge and once Cloud understands everything, he will understand that whenever he sees Zack in a white space, it is essentially just Zack's legacy and memories and consciousness living inside of him and helping him. And if you take this logic and you apply it to the Edge of Creation fight, it becomes perfectly logical. Oh, the Ever Crisis fight. We have a lot to cover, don't we? Yes.
Unfolding.
So I believe the symbolism behind Zack is that here, I believe this just represents, this is just metaphor. This is a metaphor. This is the same thing, right? Like both of them here, look at this shot. This and this are in the same space. This is what I need. Yeah, exactly. Purely Cloud's subconscious. And there are maybe interactions with the live stream, which is the collective unconscious or whatever, depending on what lens we're using, either Jungian psychology or Yogacara. But I do believe that this version of Zack is the exact same version of Zack here. I swear I'm not going to change this, guys. This needs a screenshot. Any Zakura here is going to love this. Hold on. What is... Okay. There you go. Of course I am screenshotting this thing. Entire window. Sus AF. Psycho Unicorn. Just took a screenshot. I did as well, I swear. What about this one? Anyways, it's just to tell you that this version of them, it's very hard to just pause there. I'm not able to do it the second time. It is just this. And so for me, the entire Edge of Creation just symbolizes for me, what this fight symbolizes, it tells us that Sephiroth keeps trying to hijack Cloud's mind space, and Cloud fights back thanks to the Zack persona inside of him and thanks to his own self, not him checking Cloud out. This rock as well reminds me of this. I feel like this rock, Bunke, we spoke about this at some point. We were wondering if this rock at the edge of creation is literally just this rock here. It would explain everything. It would mean that Cloud is currently here and he jumps to a world and he comes back. These are real worlds based on real memories. They're not fake. They are just altered versions of the truth that need to be repaired so that his personalities merge. And in the live stream sequence, we see everything merging into Cloud. So what I expect with the live stream sequence is that you will see his real self. You will see his fake persona, his soldier persona. You will see his child version maybe. And you will see his Zack persona merging into him. You will see everything coming together. And then we have the new Cloud. He is going to be the synthesis of all of that. And so this is why I believe about Zack that, because if you look, for example, there are some dramatic versions of reality. Like when you see Zack fighting in Crisis Core towards the end, he can barely move and he can even barely swing his sword. But when you see him at the beginning of Rebirth, he's like literally lifting the pole and hitting the helicopter with it. Are you like, what the hell? How's this guy able to do this? And it's like, because it's a dream. Dreams use compensatory... I struggle with this word every week. Compensation mechanisms. Dreams use compensation mechanisms because they want to mirror or to contrast what's happening on the surface. The way dreams manifest is that they see something on the surface they don't like, they see that it doesn't really match who the person is in reality, and they contrast that in order to tell you what your true self is. Exactly, and he strikes a pose. It's over the top. A guy who was literally about to die, even if the Whisper saved him, would still be quite tired, wouldn't he? By carrying Cloud all the way there. So that's how I think about it. And I feel that, so everything that happens here, I feel that this fight is based on the memories that we made in Remake, that they will be referenced again in Advent Children. So it's not that the Remake uses the memories from Advent Children. It's that Advent Children, Jenova will go to Cloud's memories and will summon this Sephiroth based on what Cloud was seeing in the expressway, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that he is able... Oh yeah, why do we see Marlene here? We just see everyone. Right, okay. And he sees Zack because that's the Zack living inside of him, and that's the same reason why he sees Aerith. And this is the mega, giga, overpowered Omnislash. Right? Oh, Bunke, we gotta talk about the idea that we had. Do you think they'll show what really happened in the Forgotten Capital during the live stream sequence or during another chapter? Judicator, great question to which I still don't have a satisfactory answer because I have a conundrum. The first one is if you show it during the live stream sequence, it is possible, but the live stream sequence is... It kind of undermines what the live stream sequence is, right? I think that the live stream sequence is about... Cloud finding his true self and the true memory that repairs who he really is. It's not impossible for it to appear there. In fact, I think that thematically it's going to be very poetic to see that he needs to accept the death of his mom. He already accepted it to an extent, but see the true version of the death of his mom, as in he was maybe with her in the house at the moment it all happened. It's very possible. The second thing is that he would need to accept Zack's death, and he would need to accept Aerith's death. This is very possible. The alternative to it is that he does not confront Aerith's death until after the live stream sequence, which for me doesn't make sense because Cloud needs to be whole before he actually, or right after the live stream sequence. So if Cloud is still in denial about Aerith's death after the live stream sequence, it's weird. I don't know, it means that there is still a big payoff moment coming, and maybe he only realizes that Aerith is dead when she helps and when he gets the lend in hand that brings him up, which symbolizes her. That's possible, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So I'm leaning more towards the former. It doesn't mean that, for example, Tifa's memory of him is still not going to be... The most important thing to Cloud's identity crisis is Tifa's memory of him. Let us be clear on that. And the fact that she remembers that he was with her, he was not fake, he was real, and that they made a promise, or he made a promise there, and all that kind of stuff. This stuff is what reminds Cloud of who he is. It's not going to deviate from that. You can embellish it by adding layers, by adding stages. It's like multiple trials. So you could have the first trial about Zack, the second trial, maybe the first trial about his mom, the second trial about Zack, the third trial about Glenn, his dad, who he did not see die. He also needs to confront the death of his dad Glenn, his dead Glenn as well. And then the fourth one could be about Aerith. It's possible. Definitely love how the devs allowed for these sorts of discussions. Super satisfying seeing how things differ from person to person. This is the thing, is that, listen, we have like the very similar overarching idea, but we still think about it differently. Tom, what do you make of worlds equal personalities? I'm curious. Maybe we can jump on a chat one day. I think there is, yeah, let's chat. Let's organize something, because I would love to pick your brain on a couple of things, because I still don't have, like, we have some ideas here, but we need a bit more. We need to confront them with something a bit more critique. And unfortunately, people either hate this or agree with it. So he was definitely there with his mother, because in Rebirth, you actually hear her voice as opposed to Sephiroth merely. Yes. Is that the video of Cosmo Canyon Observatory, Bunke, you're referring to? I think he was with her in the house as well. They will address Aerith's death when they return to the Forgotten Capital. That is possible. It's just, how do you manage that Cloud is still... I think he remembers that she's dead, but he doesn't grieve until they get to the Forgotten Capital. It's possible. Like, he's a mess at the Forgotten Capital. But it doesn't mean that he's like a puppet anymore. He is whole. He is himself. But he didn't get to properly grieve during the live stream sequence. It's possible. Like, there could be something in between. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, Tom. I mean, we'll chat in private and then try to set up something. I'm very excited. Right. How much time do we have for Case of Tifa? Probably not going to have that much time. So we will leave Case of Tifa, right? Do you guys agree it's better to leave On the Way to a Smile for next week, probably? Next week, right before the State of Play. So what are we thinking? Are we getting something on State of Play? What is the general feeling within the group here? I personally don't know if we're getting anything. I'm just asking, by the way. Put up some music. It's the same 3 songs repeating, but okay. Is it coming up? Feel like it is. We just gotta add a few more songs, right? A few more songs that are a bit different and not just the same thing. These are the 3 from the intro, and I know you guys want something different. Let's have a few of these. Yeah, I think we have a lot of great songs here, right? Yeah. Yeah. Launching the Dream into Space. Wow, I love these songs. Let's put them here. Right. Oh, amazing. Are the names Oh, love that. Oh, they're not. Yeah, well, anyways, the names might not be very well written, but Mario, I will sleep. These 2 titans know each other today. Thank you so much, Mario, for making the link there. I feel like Tom and I have interacted on X. I remember your handle, and I remember that we spoke before, and I think we I'm not sure if we interacted directly on some posts, but I do remember your account. Like, I remember there was some connection, but we didn't chat before today directly. Between State of Play and Summer Games Fest. Nothing at State of Play title reveal. But you guys know that Schrodinger's baby Seal, who obviously is usually very spot on and knowledgeable about this stuff, said that because the State of Play costs virtually nothing versus the Summer Games Fest, which is going to cost, I think, literal millions. He said that he doesn't think that that's going to happen there, but I don't know. He said that if there is something, he would expect it more at the State of Play. And he also said that just because it happens at a State of Play doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be multi-platform. This is something that is very reassuring for me. Official trailer at the Game Awards. Also, guys, like with the GTA rumors being delayed, I'm curious how that impacts. Yeah, considering Square's financials. Also, like, there is the fact that they didn't project any growth in the fiscal year, which ends in, what was it, March or April? March 2027. So people are like, probably it's not going to release before April 2027. My best guess is summer 2020, like spring 2027 to summer, spring to summer. When do you release games in the spring to summer time span? Do you release them in April or July, like you avoid stuff in between? 7/7/27 would be great. But also you can use that anniversary to market stuff. Or that, yeah, catchy date or whatever. Rather than just use it in order to release the game. Like, you can release the game in a regular date and then just use that for more promotion and marketing. So this is why the anniversary for me works, but as more as marketing material to push the game further, rather than we have to get it out in this specific date. This is how I understand it, right? At least, yeah. 45 minutes of Wolverine and then show off some other games. I expect Summer Games Fest. Okay, looks like everyone is Summer Game Fest. 7/7/27 would be insane. I agree. Would love to hear it. Would love to see that. I like it. Just like, it's an easy date to remember. It's just iconic and everything. That just makes sense. And they could build more marketing around it. I think that the advantage with that is that people who might not necessarily be big Final Fantasy VII fans might come across that because it's an easier thing to remember. It's like this game that is called 7 will release on 7/7/27. I'm just bringing it down to the most basic concept. Doesn't mean that if you launch it in another day, it doesn't work, but it's something useful, right? I just don't know if it's necessary. This is my only thing with it, is that I'm not sure this is, like, very, very important, and that they, like, I'm not sure if this is a case of they have to release it then, or how much it adds to them. I think that the increase could be a bit not very substantial, and so they might be like, you know what, let's just release it in a better date. I just think the biggest thing is you avoid GTA. How strong are the rumors that GTA is getting delayed, by the way, guys? Does anyone know? It says GTA 6 final release date. Oh, God. Come on, a lot of freaking ads. Dude, why do you disappear? Okay, thank you. Okay. GTA rumors goes together like a horse and a carriage. What's going on with this website? Your website is bad. This is why my ad blocker is blocking you. Okay. GTA 6, surprisingly not delayed. This week started with a significant... With release, didn't end up happening, but the head of Take-Two, the parent publisher, just confirmed GTA 6 will indeed launch on... But it doesn't necessarily mean... Brums, 1967. 67. And so that would be... 60 years? It's possible. But they use 7/7 a lot. Yeah. Like, they are just obsessed with the number 7 when it comes to FF7 specifically. 2 trailers in December 2023 and the second in May 2025. I'm not a big GTA fan. I mean, I might play it when it's out, but I'm very much scared of it being close to. And you guys, it doesn't matter. Like, we will all play Final Fantasy VII. We just want it to be a bigger thing. But they did delay the pre-orders then. So they're saying the game is going to launch in the same date, but the pre-orders are delayed. Isn't that sus? It's kind of weird. Anyways. We just gotta hope, guys. Fingers crossed for this. So what do we do next week? On the way to a smile? Is there anything else we want to analyze, guys? I have some Cosmo Canyon stuff for you. Do I tease it? I just can't help myself, can I? I can't help spoiling surprises. I want to show you something, guys. Hold on. Oh god, I don't know if I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Must have it in the other window. Rebirth script. Is this the first state of play that's going to be in theaters? I've never heard of that before. Okay, I'll send you the novel. It took me a while. Okay, Chrono, thanks. Yeah. I saw that Max was saying that it's been forever since they did this, right? So it must be a big deal. Guys, look at this. This is Cosmo Canyon NPC dialogue. I'll actually show you the pictures. I feel like showing you the pictures will make a bit more sense. Where's hold on. Where's it gonna be though? Okay, anyways. Documents. Cosmo Canyon. Can you talk about the infamous lady at the Cosmo Canyon? Can be reconstructed the original statement from OG about Cloud understanding the answer from the planet? I'm getting to that, my friend. What channel should I put it on? You can put it on General Chrono. General FF7 is fine. Thing I have is okay. Google Drive is being a little bitch like usual. Oh. Okay. Thank you, my friend Chrono. We got it. I'm gonna check it out later. Guys, I have some spicy stuff for you when it comes to Cosmo Canyon. Yeah, Aerith's chapter is the one I've seen that people are not translating. Like, this is the last one being translated, which is fine. I think it just makes sense that people start with the first one. But Aerith's chapter is the one with the most spicy stuff. Tifa's chapter is good as well, but Aerith's chapter has stuff that could be related to the mysteries. And that's where it becomes interesting. I'm uploading this stuff on the fly, guys, okay? I know. So you guys noticed that dialogue, right? The way I understand this dialogue while the rest loads. Yeah, Tifa had the longest chapter, yeah. So people have interpreted this dialogue to kind of justify the existence of a multiverse and whatnot. The way I interpret this dialogue is that she says, my parents are no longer with us here. I believe they're still out there on another plane. Okay. I've been reading a bunch of theories about this alternate world in the hope of going there someday. So she's telling you that there is an alternate world where she thinks her parents are alive, right? And over the course of my studies, I stumbled across a fascinating theory. It addressed the issue of what the live stream is, arguing that spiritual energy is actually a manifestation of our knowledge and memories. It means that our knowledge and memories can manifest something in the live stream, right? Just keep following the logic. Bunkei, I have a theory about that. Like I said, it's a fascinating theory. But it's incomplete. What about our hopes and dreams? We remember those, don't we? Listen, she's talking about her. She's talking about we as individuals, we remember hopes and dreams. Right? So what if spiritual energy cannot distinguish between memories and unrealized desires? Okay, we're still fine. What if coming into contact with that energy allowed us to peer through the looking glass, so to speak? This does not mean that the world just exists on its own. She says specifically what, obviously this is the localization, and the Japanese says more or less the same thing. She says, what if when we come into contact with Mako and the live stream, we peer into the looking glass? It means we peer into our own soul. It means that the planes she's talking about are made up inside of us and with our own dreams, hopes, and memories. Exactly. She's talking about what you get if you are close to Mako and what you get if you are in the live stream, or whatever we call the live stream, and whether you get experiences of dreams. So your mind gives those hopes, dreams, and memories shape when it's in contact with spiritual energy, and you are able to peer in your inside. Exactly. We get to see into our subconscious or unconscious. So this doesn't mean that those worlds exist externally. That's exactly what happens in the live stream sequence and in the Gongaga live stream sequence as well. Yes, it's possible. It's possible, Judicator. I also feel that there is some sort of, not time travel, but there is some sort of live stream omniscience there. I think that the live stream gives those visions to Tifa because it knows that it's going to be important. I think that the planet is showing Tifa that this is what this guy is seeing, but she's also seeing both versions because because Tifa and Cloud's memories are connected and they have some tension points in them, right? And the planet knows that Tifa is important to Cloud's memories. So if the planet gives that information to Cloud, to Tifa, then I think it trusts that Tifa will figure it out later. I think they can if enough people share the same dream, like ripples resonate, right? Let's Mosey. This is what they said in Ever Crisis. And I'm totally, I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying that the first way I interpret dreams, personally, is the idea that we need to look at it in the sense of it's an individual process. It's the live stream showing us what we kind of wish or secretly dream of, right? How many is still left? 86 uploads complete. Amazing stuff. Okay, guys, watch this. There's a lot of great stuff, okay? We must live in great harmony with our great mother. A great mother. For the planet is an extension of us and we of it. Okay, fine. Whatever. As such, the life with which she has blessed us is a gift that must one day be returned. To nurture your spirit is to nurture the spirit of the planet. And so I implore you, brothers and sisters, do not neglect your studies. That's clear. Through your diligence, you will find true fulfillment. Okay. Blessings of the planet, blah, blah, blah. This is nonsense. I don't need this. Okay. Gift of life. Where is the spicy stuff? I think we're getting close. Okay, guys, here's the first kind of spicy stuff. I said there is no way I'm not gonna screenshot this. I'm looking for live stream relevant stuff and mystery connected stuff. And these two lovebirds are like, there's more than one way to nurture life. Now tell me this is not a reference to the high wind scene. Is this not a reference to the Under the High Wind scene? There is no way it's not. There's more than one way to nurture life after all. Isn't that what we learned from our time here? This is crazy. My virgin ears. Let me show you even worse. Not worse, but like even more spicy, okay? Screenshots. Okay, that was that there. Oh, that's where it was. Okay, hold on. I find video clips, Rebirth. Okay. Let me bring this up, guys, okay? Sorry it's taking too long. But I swear it's going to be worth it. Are you able to see the screen? Why are you not able to see the screen? What the hell? What in the world is going on? Okay, now I think you're going to see it. Okay, this is Cosmo Canyon stuff that I recorded, guys, okay? So it's stuff coming directly from my playthrough. I can I can actually judge the reliability of this. Hold on, let me read chat. That's just secretly Chadley's hopes and desires. Babies came from Toys R Us. Chadley is secretly around the corner. I'm not trolling, I swear. There is actual lore relevant story stuff here. There is this guy.
A 30-year-old potion. Wonder if it's still any good. With Cosmo
I
salt,
can't
you
even.
can add a
I have no
dash of the
words.
planet's grace.
They say that the owner of this shop invented the precursor to the modern.
Where's Chadley? Chadley, where are you?
But I'm having some difficulty narrowing it down.
Okay, fine, we know. Here are these two lovebirds. Where are they? Okay, they're gone. So what I want you guys to focus on is this guy. This guy here, okay? See what he's gonna say.
Born of one mother.
Where's the
with
voice?
boundless love for her children. She serves as both cradle.
Therefore, does it not follow that
Listen to him.
words of one's own?
It's this guy talking. I ask you this, who among you has looked inward into the universe of the soul? Okay?
Word into the universe.
We are siblings all, born of one mother, with boundless love
Just as each of us is a part of the planet,
for her children. She serves
the planet is a part of us. We are inside the planet, but the consciousness probably, or the memories of the planet are inside of us.
as both cradle.
Therefore, does it not follow that to heed the words of one's own heart is in essence to heed the words of our great mother? They're talking about the planet.
Therefore, does it not follow that to heed the words of one's own heart is in essence to heed the words of our great mother? Do I urge you to hearken to that voice
I urge you to hearken to that voice.
of the planet?
He's essentially telling us, if you want to listen to yourself, what you truly want, or to the planet, listen to yourself. If you want to hear what the planet has to say, listen to yourself, because the planet is inside of you. He's essentially telling you, meditate, and you're going to be able to listen to the planet. If we believe Sephiroth knows the past future, then the ending of the two weapons above where Tifa Cloud's live stream sequence is being surrounded by whispers isn't a coincidence. Yes, but also Sephiroth doesn't need to know the future, and the past is okay, but he doesn't need to know the future in order for him to protect those memories, because he knows that the memories are currently a lie, the ones that we have on the surface. And so him stopping Tifa from getting there doesn't necessarily mean that he needs knowledge of the future, because he just knows that those memories should not resurface on Cloud's mind, right? I believe.
It is for our
Okay, we saw this guy. The most interesting one for me, guys, is this one. There is an NPC who has solved the Jenova versus Sephiroth conversation.
Natural order.
And here she is. Just trying to get perfect shots for my thumbnail, sorry. Listen to what this person is going to say. And I want to hear what you guys think about it.
To fear, it is not our fellow man, nor any creature big or small, with whom we share our home. It is that which comes from beyond the confines of this world, that which disrupts the natural order, the other which may attempt to claim and consume the planet. And so I bid you, her children, to join hands and come together. For united, we shall never succumb to fear of celestial calamity.
She literally says celestial calamity. Like she doesn't even disguise it. Do you see? There are NPCs talking about the weapons, guys. Did you guys know there are NPCs talking about the weapons? I'm gonna show you if I find them. I think they were right at the beginning.
No, sir.
You will
Hey!
Dead or alive? They've certainly made a name for themselves, haven't
They're talking
Dead
about
or
Avalanche.
alive?
Yeah, you see the NPC talking about Genova? Referring to Genova, I think it's just the game giving you meta commentary, to be honest.
They've certainly made a name for themselves.
But the one about the weapons is the one that shocked me the most, guys.
Oh, mother. He's from which undergo.
Grant you
But there's always cycle.
Learn. Expect us.
Like the planet or
An earth.
You has looked inward into the universe.
Who has looked inward once again, eh?
Bring into your life
very
long words of one's own
ours and
within and
suffer.
Okay, that must be in one of the screenshots. Let me find it in the screenshots, because then otherwise I'm not able to find it here. And we're back to these two. Oh my goodness. It's just like the word harbinger is new. Absolutely. There you go. Watch this. Is there any truth to the rumors? Has the beast really been sighted? Look at how English is going to butcher the localization again. This is not what it said in Japanese. I'm going to show you the translation, guys. If the survey team is to be believed, then I'm afraid so. The last sighting was only 2 years ago, though. The gaps are growing shorter and shorter. Could it be a sign that something's wrong with the planet? Did you guys see how much stuff there is hidden in Cosmo Canyon? And this is the actual verbatim of it. Is there any truth to the rumors? Has the beast really been sighted? If the survey team is to be believed, we saw all of that. But the rest is like it wasn't heard in the image. Word is that Caesar recruited some people to look into that whole situation with the fiend. I pray the fallen stars light up the sky soon. All we can do now is wait for news. They could also be talking about the Gi, because the Gi appear in Cosmo Canyon, right? But this is not a good translation, because you will see a better translation if we look for the actual Japanese stuff. What it says is the rumor that a premonition of disaster has been sighted. This is huge. Why are we translating a premonition of disaster to a beast? Like premonition of disaster, what do you guys immediately think of? I immediately think of the weapons, right? It means they're talking about the weapons. It means that the weapons were seen in recent years every couple of years, and that now they are seen much more frequently. That is huge, very important lore, isn't it? But here, it just says the beast. Yes, the archaeological survey team definitely saw it. It's been 2 years since the last sighting. The intervals between sightings have been getting shorter. Is something unusual happening to the stars? The stars is the planet here, right? I heard Lord Caesar is investigating the premonition of disaster. I hope the stray star is found safely, but for now we can only wait for further reports. Yes, let's mosey. I don't know what they mean when they say stray star. Does it mean a comet? Does it mean a, I don't know, small meteor? Whatever. Yes, Caesar is the guy, I believe, who gives you the quest, right? And so this kind of stuff is very, very important, like premonition of disaster. Is there any other interest in NPC dialogue? Yes, Bugenhagen. Listen, in Japanese, the planet is called star, our star. So it's just that in English, it translates to a planet. But when they say star, they talk about the planet. Listen to this again. Relax, close your eyes, and listen to the voice of the planet resounding within your very soul. This is why I think that Cloud dreams of dream worlds when he sleeps. It's because he's listening to the voice of the planet communicating with him, telling him something. Let's mosey. I think stars still have both meanings. Like it could mean planet and it could mean star or comet or whatever. But I have to check. I'm not a like I don't speak Japanese, so I'm just guessing. I don't think it means stray planet either, but I don't know. Like our star means the planet for sure, but when it says like a stray star, I don't know if it still means a stray planet or then translation changes. Bizarro Sephiroth is a weapon like, absolutely. Just as we are part of the planet is in turn a part of us, collective unconscious. Let the voice rise up and wash over you, that it may guide your steps on the path to alignment, to enlightenment, right? Don't be afraid. Relax and give yourself over to the planet. This all looks like people talking to Cloud telling him what to do. Obviously it's not, but Yogacara, exactly. Meditation, dude. And also Jungian psychology. If you attune yourself with the natural flow of the planet, the answers will come. Listen to this. Within you are all the planet's thoughts and memories. It says that you have access to knowledge, which is the planet's thoughts and memories. Sorry. And so this is great lore once again. I feel like people in the Cosmo Canyon segment just focus on the one talking about the alternate worlds. Look at how important this is. Like there is much more concrete stuff. Oh, this is not even the best one, guys. So you know the NPC who is telling her story, right? It's this one. There are other NPCs. So if you go out of Cosmo Canyon and you come back, or if you go out of the Cave of the Gi and you come back to the seminar area, you will hear other people telling their stories. Okay? People have theorized that there is actually that someone like Jesse's dad, or maybe even Jesse's dad is here. I don't think it's her dad, but his story is very similar. Listen to this. Been trying to have a child. Lost my husband, not this one. This one is just preaching for no war. I used to work for Shinra up until a few years ago. Was a maintenance guy in a reactor. It's a dangerous job, cost a lot of people their health. Cost me mine. I passed out on the job, Mako poisoning, but while I was unconscious, I had this dream. He was unconscious and he was having dreams. Who does that sound like? Saw friends I'd lost. My mom too. They were crying in pain. When I woke up, I quit the company, started studying planetology. That dream opened my eyes to what Shinra was doing. This guy is describing the process by which you have a dream that you have while you're unconscious, waking you up and giving you the true version of things. So don't tell me that dreams don't have consequences. The it's all a dream is not a bad thing. Dreams help people heal and pursue the right thing, and that's what Cloud's dreams, if they are his dreams, serve. That dream opens. Quitting was the best thing I ever did. It was the right thing to do for the people I loved. Blessings of the planet upon you, and then they wrap it up. And that was the last of it, guys. Jesse's family lived, I think, in Sector 5, didn't they? Oh, no, Sector 8. Between Sector 7 and Sector 8, I believe. Didn't they? All these NPCs are telling Cloud how to fill up his clear materia. Exactly. I also interpret the Crisis Core stuff as them saying go along with what the planet wants. The Crisis Core, or say Cosmo Canyon. Meaning don't upset the status quo. Acceptance. A lot of them talk about acceptance, which I didn't capture because I felt like that was not really that big. They tell you to go with the flow, so you don't mess with the status quo. Graffiti is all over Remake and Rebirth too. Absolutely, Let's Mosey. Thank you for catching that stuff. Tom, all right, man, I gotta head off. Okay, well, thank you so much for checking the stream out, my friend. Yeah, it's all gonna be in the VOD. Excited to see your thoughts. Same here. Same here. Have a good day, my friend. Cosmo Canyon. Yeah, no, I gotcha. No worry. Well, guys, thank you so much to everyone who has joined. This was a great stream. I was like kind of afraid we will not like be able to dive into a lot of topics, but you know, it's just this is how conversation goes from one topic to the other. And listen to like see how many things we ended up covering. You guys let me know, like Bunke, you threw an idea there. You guys let me know if there's anything else you would like us to check next week. Otherwise, I do have a couple of things lined up. And we might have, so there is a surprise coming during the week, guys. It's a video, but it's not an essay. It's a conversation, but I'm not going to say exactly what it's going to be so that I leave the surprise up in the air. I'm very excited about it, to be totally honest. It's going to be a long one. So be on the lookout. More importantly, be well. I hope everyone is going to have a great end to the weekend. Well, not the end to the weekend, it's just the middle of the weekend. And that everyone is going to enjoy their Sunday and have a good start to the week. And that we will have a great... Steve finally talks with Aerith about Cloud. See y'all. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's gonna happen. Thank you so much, Mario. Thank you all as well for like showing me the video. It was I want to say enlightening. It was enlightening for me to see it. I loved it. Cheers, my friends. Love you all. Thank you so much for always watching this stuff and for just sitting down and listening to my crazy ramblings. I hope you guys again enjoy your Saturday, and I hope we talk soon again next week. Take care, everyone.